Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live right here on Think Critical YouTube, and I believe we're on Twitter and Twitch at this time as well. Should have a fun show talking about the world of DC comic movies, but we'll certainly get into some X-Men comics. We've got some new DC announcements from New York Comic Con from last week as well to get to, and we've got returning to the channel legendary comic book YouTuber Perch. How you doing, Perch?
Oh, I thought you meant Sully. I'm doing fine. Don't do that to him. I think, no, glad to be here. I didn't know what the topic was, and then I looked at the thumbnails. I'm coming in, and I'm like, oh shit, this isn't going to go well for me. But anyway, we'll have a fun time.
You love the James Gunn.
No, I don't love it. I probably am. I'm probably going to be the opposite opinion of a lot of the comments we have here. But let's see where it goes.
Well, that's why we have the panel.
There you have it.
Nobody wants an echo chamber. Now, are you still reading new comic books?
Yeah, of course. I had a couple of weeks where I was traveling internationally, so it was hard to do that. But I'm actually very caught up. I read, I think, all the comics this week, which was a mistake by and large. But
yes, it was. So there were two in particular that were awful. And there was one that I thought was particularly the worst. Unbreakable X-Men #1.
That was a bad book. I mean... Well, I guess we can get into some of this. I think you want to talk about the X-Men, but the thing about comics is there are actually a decent amount of good comics, but I don't know if anybody is noticing this. It's very uneven. Like you get a week.
They're in 2 weeks a month.
Yeah, well, you get a week where you got a bunch of good comics, and it's not necessarily a particular run. It's just there's a couple of weeks where you have some good books, and then you get these weeks where it's like, what the hell happened this week? And it's really uneven. This was a week of some very puzzling books. The Iron Frost. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but anyway.
So Iron Frost was worse than Unbreakable?
I mean, they're all those books. The X-Men launch here is not good. Unbreakable, Giant, Rogue, Galactus, Spoilers, not good. I mean, these aren't good comics right now that they're part of this X-Men launch. And there's so many of them. There's 19 this month. Jim
and I figured out in order to get through Unbreakable X-Men, you have to read Rogue as if she's Foghorn Leghorn. And then when you read Remy's dialogue, it has to be as Bobby Boucher. And then it kind of makes sense.
Boy,
I said, boy. I do declare.
It's just way too much. And I think somebody did an analysis. If you buy the variant covers at cover price, not markup, and you're all in on this event, you're well over $800. And that's just a colossal amount of investment for this thing. There's more comics in this in about a month and a half than there was for the Infinity Gauntlet and all of its tie-ins. It's it's not like they're banger comic books either. These tie-ins are terrible.
I thought that Overture was a pretty readable, like kind of good book, and then everything else I've touched that's then on Age of Revelation has been bad.
Yeah, I think the setup wasn't terrible, but what they're doing with it is just anyway. And anyway, yeah, whatever. We'll get into that, I'm sure. But it's good to be with all of you. I see all the different faces except Doc's, and mine. But hello, everybody.
Hello, Perch.
Did you think Wonder Woman was worse than Unbreakable?
Oh no. I again, this is where I'll be contrarian. If I'm looking at Tom King's run in general, the Mouse Man arc, this arc is probably the best one of his run, I would say, that he's done so far for me. So there you go.
I think it's even worse than Sovereign. I can't hear another Mouse Man knows mice have ears.
No, it's too much dialogue. And I mean, the last, I think, issue 2 in this arc, this is issue 4, right? It is hard to read this over and over. I mean, it's easy for him as a writer. I mean, man, the dialogue, you just repeat. But I do like that there's an element of kind of looming horror in all this. It's this isn't terrible that they're pushing Wonder Woman in this way. I don't mind it. But I haven't been a big fan of Tom King's run. This is probably the best of it for me. So there you go.
I think it's probably the worst thing that he's done, though, like as far as ongoings.
Oh, I think his Batman was much worse.
Yeah, but people liked his Batman up until what, like issue 20?
Some people did, yeah. I was not one of them, but I'm always
me neither. The War of Jokes and Riddles is what threw me off.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. So see, I'm gonna be just contrarian. There you have it.
Dylan, what threw you off on Tom King's Batman? When did you realize that this was garbage?
I mean, I think like we were talking about with the repetitive dialogue in the ... after every sentence, that's where when you start noticing that and every character's voice is the exact same, that's when things just start going south.
Then he started throwing all those epic poems and song lyrics.
And the freaking bat cat stuff, you just want to puke like just reading those two talking to each other. They just constantly just bat cat. It's terrible.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Batman to me is way more annoying. Wonder Woman again, I think it started in much the same vein, but I know this arc's doing it for me at least. I mean, it's a sliding scale, but it's not bad.
Very nice. What else has been going on the Perch channel, dude? You got any big interviews or things people need to know about?
No, I got a bunch of stuff stacked up, but instead of been traveling, so I mean, a lot of the content people are listening to is recorded at least 3 months ago right now. So,
yeah, when are they going to get to our exclusive conversation that we recorded?
I don't know, somewhere in there. My daughter does all the processing at this point.
She's managing the channel?
For all intents and purposes, yeah.
She's 11.
Yeah, 12.
12 now. Okay, I missed a birthday.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that for all YouTubers out there, that's the skill level you got to have. 12 years old.
Oh, very good. So Sparrow, you went to New York Comic Con last weekend. You missed the show. Thankfully, Rini stepped in and replaced you and did a better job. Quite frankly.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
What are you gonna do? If that. Luckily for me, she can't be here every week.
Yeah, but then when you came back, you're all sick.
Yeah, I came back. Sick. It turns out I have walking pneumonia, so I'm not going anywhere anymore. I'm staying home because I go somewhere and bad things happen. So I'm it's like, let's see, New York Comic Con, lost money, got sick. I did have a lot of fun. I did get to hang out with AL and met her husband. Got to hang out. We all went to dinner with HH. Got to hang out with Drew. Got to talk to. Well, I mean, you know what? I'm going to hold this for the. I'll save this for the back channel conversation. I talked to a lot of people at New York. I talked to Joey Q. Talked to Peter Tomasi. Talked to a bunch of people that under normal circumstances I'm not sure would want to talk to me, but everybody was super cool. And then sat in the hotel bar one night, had some good food and got dirty looks from Mark Brooks.
Oh, very nice. Next thing you know, he's going to make a wet cover with your face on it.
Dude.
What did you get out of the bath?
Challenge me to a fight and then call security when I walk by his booth.
Oh, jeez. You too? Wow, I thought that was just me.
Yeah. So your life's just been action-packed.
Yeah, it's been great. No, I got a story for Perch after this. That I think you might enjoy. I hope I do it justice. But overall, a lot of fun. Got to hang out with Von Coleman. Got to see a lot of indie guys. The TCM booth did really well. It basically all those books. We kind of had like a rocky start with the first Silent Knights and getting it fulfilled. It's kind of the same rocky problem that I'm having with Kneel Before Doomface right now. The digitals were supposed to be out before New York. They're not. Then they were supposed to be out during New York. They're not. So just kind of like in the midst of almost dying from pneumonia and being super sick and having a concussion and I'm basically just RoboCop at this point. Remember the part where he's just like, I'm having trouble. That's
breaking your foot.
And well, I mean, that was a while ago, but yeah, I'm still dealing with the aftermath of that. So 2025 is not going to crack my top 10 as like the best years. But I'm still in good spirits.
Well, that's good to hear. Dylan, aren't you glad that you're much younger than us and you don't have to deal with this kind of crap?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I remember being 25 and Invincible too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you reach an age as an aging comic book fan, and you realize that in Captain America, Hydra is actually a metaphor for your nose and your ear here. And that like you pluck one and 100 more come out. That's a joke.
No, I get it.
Oh,
That's gross.
It's not funny because it's real.
Yeah.
it's funny because it's true.
Englehart was in the mirror one day with his tweezers and thought, hey.
I got an idea. For a terrorist group.
Boys, I got it.
So did anything tickle your fancy this week in comic books, Dylan? I guess there was G.I. Joe. That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's some good comics this week. I liked G.I. Joe. We got Battle Beast. I thought the Punisher Red Band issue 2 was pretty good. Though we got some weird stuff with Kingpin, but I enjoyed that. There's some good comics this week. Not the best week. And Absolute Flash was actually pretty good this week, which is not
But
something
I think I
I've been
saw
able to say.
the best comic page that I've seen all year in Incredible Hulk 30.
Yes, the Nick Klein returned from the store with milk. He's back because he just disappears from that book and comes back like once every 5 issues. But he's great when he's there, and when he comes back, you're like, "Oh yeah, this is why it took you so long." That was
He got
incredible.
his cigarettes.
Yeah,
That double splash page, I won't give any spoilers, but it's got Abomination, Hulk, and Banner involved in it. Was like, you could just look at it for 10 minutes.
yeah, it's awesome, and that entire book looks amazing. But then we won't see him for he's got to be on issue 1 of Infernal Hulk, but then he'll be gone for like 5 issues, and then he'll come back.
Yeah. Perch, what did you think of that splash page? Was that one of the better ones you've seen?
It was a good. I mean, it's a good book in general. It was a good splash page for sure. But that was a again, week of comics. But Incredible Hulk was good. Battle Beast was good. I mean, a lot of the ones you mentioned were good. But that Incredible Hulk issue is good. I'm excited for the next stage. I think I want to see what he does with it. I like that they're just going. We're in horror. They're going deeper into horror. So yeah, let's see what happens. It was good. Damn good book.
What do you think about the weird Marvel strategy, though, where they keep rebooting with the same creator? You know, it's going from Incredible to Infernal. We just had Immortal go to Mortal Hulk, Thor, I guess. And then we're having Jed McKay rebooting Moon Knight for a 4th or 5th time now.
It's the Marvel is very convinced that people will not buy comics after issue 10, or it has that the number on the cover has a sales impact, and that putting it out as a number 1 gives them abilities to market that they don't have. They're entirely convinced of this, and it's so
they think like issue 45 is a deterrent
for sure. Yeah,
because I can't go get 44 issues. I can't get in here.
Well,
right?
I think the last time I was on your stream, this kind of came up a little bit too. There is a belief from people, and it's unfounded. It doesn't map to actually math or sales, that it's too hard for people to figure out where things start. And so if the comic has 45 on it, there's people who are going to go, I can't read. I don't know. Too hard for me. Got to come back. I can't. And it always infuriates me because that's not actual customer behavior you see. And if somebody is questioning, like, where do I start in this book? It's not because it's issue 45. It's because they're looking at, Wikipedia, and there's been 8 number 1s in the last 3 years. And it's like, they have no idea which number 1 is the starting number 1 because there's no year on there. And this is a self-made problem, but Marvel, more than anyone, is severely convinced that if the title gets into the teens, it's time to reboot it, and that is their publishing strategy right now.
You know what used to work for me is when I would be looking at a title and it'd be like, issue 200 or whatever, but it would have a splash on the on the cover that said, the beginning of a whole new era, and I'd go, oh, a jumping on point.
Sure.
And I would pick up the book, even though it said 200, like I was like, here's where I can start.
There's a million ways to solve this, really easy ways to solve this, and a good publisher can do this. I mean, not hard at all to get people. People are relatively smart. They go onto Netflix. There's many seasons of something. Somehow they figure out what season 1 is. Everybody just managed to figure that out. It's not that hard. But Marvel, I mean, Brevort's defended this practice on his in his blog many times of just nope, have to reboot, and this is where the sales come in. It's like,
because
Do they realize that One Piece is now the highest selling comic book of all time and surpassing Batman and Superman as far as character?
No,
it's never had a reboot.
There's always, well, it's not what we do. Oh, it was in Jump. Oh, there was, it's not the same for X, Y, and Z. Same thing happens with Asterix. It's like, well, people don't know who that is, and it's like, oh yeah, that title also sells more than the majority of the US books. So it's like, this is dumb. But it's everybody probably who's listening to this, you've been in a company, you've been around friends, there's this tribal knowledge that sets in that is not based on any fact at all, but we're just going to hold on to that forever.
In the military, we called it corporate knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. It's that same kind of concept.
Accrued knowledge from generations of people that you've been worked for that you just know for a fact, even though you've never seen anything that backs it up.
Yeah, Look, it's very aggravating, and it's groupthink, it's tribal, it's dumb. It's I think this will lead into our later conversation. It's the same kind of logic that says if you want to figure out a movie budget, you just take the budget, you multiply it by 2.5, and that's the cost. It's like, nah, that's not actually how it works. There's a lot more math to that math. But anyway, people believe things. So there you go.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that part myself.
Well,
Yes,
it's fun.
seriously, this is how I understand these. I'm just a high school graduate, man. But I mean, I love it that you guys are able to break this down for us, the laymen out there. That like, oh, really? That's how it works. Like, oh, I heard it over here. That's like, no, I want the real deal. And thank you guys.
No, it'll be fun. But you all can count. I mean, come on, everybody can. I mean, this comic issue is really the dumbest of all things. I mean, are you telling me Dylan here reads a lot of comics? Dylan cannot figure out what to do in a comic if he picks it up and it's issue 14. It's just it's too much for him. He has to put it down, stop reading. What are you talking about?
These people work in comics. They can't count.
No, baby. Your job is a publisher. Your literal job is to put out comics. I hate the literal word getting thrown out, but your literal job is to know how to do this. You see sales, money comes in. You know this isn't true. What are you doing?
Dylan, you mean to tell me that you don't pick up like an issue 14 and go 13 previous issues? How could I ever catch up or find out what happened?
Yeah, that gets to me whenever people are like, "Oh, superhero comics are so complicated. That's why I never read them." It's like it's not hard. You can just jump in at like 18 different points. Like it's so easy. As much as
you jump in
there's
and you're halfway
so
through the
runs.
story and you like it, you just go get the previous issues.
Exactly.
That's what I did with X-Men.
So easy.
I jumped in on X-Men, and then I started buying the new issues, and I started going backwards.
So Dylan, I think you're only reading really Incredible Hulk from Marvel, right? Or I guess that Punisher book.
I'm reading the Incredible Hulk, both the Punisher books going on right now, and Captain America. I think that's all I'm reading right now. And the Iron Fist mini. Maybe because I like Williamson, so I'll check out the first issue.
How is Captain America this week? Was it bad?
It was pretty good. It's gotten better since after the first two issues which weren't very good. Issue 3 and 4 have actually been good. I like this week's issue. But the ending, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, Zdarsky's been getting better.
Dylan, you'd say I think this was the strongest of the run so far, I would say.
Agreed. This was the best issue yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hulk, I got to talk to Philip Kennedy Johnson at New York. Super nice guy, by the way. Told him that I was on Aficionados, and he knew that we frequently recommend his work, so that was super cool. But I would have picked up the Hulk trades for him, except I knew I had no room in my bag, by the time I was done, because I knew I was taking a bunch of books home with me, and I had already ordered them on Amazon. So that's I read Hell Hunters, but I hadn't read Hulk, so picked that up. And he said more Hell Hunters is on the way, so don't worry about that.
I would love to hear that too.
Hell Hunters was great.
But Perch, is this like a big move by Marvel to go out and get Williamson, or is this like a one-off? It felt like a good idea.
I think they're looking for talent. I mean, they've reached out to Williamson before. I think Williamson is smart. We'll see how it plays out ultimately, but I think it's smart to, not get completely tied to one company, put all eggs in that basket. It makes sense. And I mean, right now, if you're a reasonably decent writer with a name, Marvel, lots of opportunity for it. If you can break through the editorial and start doing a book, it's like your competition is not strong over there, so you can stand out pretty easily.
So I see that you're talking about Arby's in the chat.
No, I said let's not talk about Arby's, because otherwise everything we're talking about, I'll be just disagreeing with the entire show.
No, there's a frivolous lawsuit out there. I think I showed you the headline. And
frivolous.
Well, they're claiming there's like some type of bad marketing or something.
You're telling me it's not complete meat.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, the comparison pictures of the advertisement versus reality. Wow, you should see online dating, man.
Exactly. It's just like the fat chick upper angle photo that you get on Tinder or whatever.
Cat filters.
Well, have you ever seen like how they do the photo shoots for like the burgers and things like that? They show the back of the front of the burger. It's all beautiful and everything. And like, there's just little droplets of dew on the tomato and everything, which is all glycerin that they put on there. And then they turn it around and that thing is stuffed with cardboard and tinfoil and like toothpicks. And like, it's a whole like structure that they've built to try to make that burger look good, and then you get disappointed when you go to the restaurant and they, I'm sorry, here in California, the $20 an hour employee just throws your burger in the, you unfold it and it looks like they stepped on it.
Mhm.
Well,
The difference
just
is
remember
Arby's
how-
actually takes that cardboard that they stuffed in. That is actually what you're getting in the restaurant.
Not true.
It is proper advertising.
I'm thinking of like if I had to stop at an Arby's for like, we're on a road trip. The 6 of us are in a car. We're on a road trip and we have to stop at Arby's. It's the only place for the next 100 miles. And what are we going to order? And I'm thinking
Market
it's got to
fresh
be
sandwich.
something with chicken, man. The fried chicken sandwich. They got to have something.
You're more likely to get actual meat with that. Yeah.
But my point is, everybody, as Aaron said, embellishes the photos for the marketing campaigns of their burgers or their sandwiches or their omelet or everything. It's not anything that Arby's is doing that's more deceptive than anybody else. It's common practice in marketing.
Right. You have to use like white Elmer's glue as a substitute for mayonnaise because underneath those hot lamps, the mayonnaise is going to turn on you, really quickly. It's going to just like turn bad before your eyes and it's not going to look appealing.
They also use the Elmer's glue for cheese on pizza
Yeah.
to make it look all gooey and.
Yeah, why isn't Pizza Hut being sued?
Maybe it's
Perch?
a really,
I
maybe it's a
think it's
really
less-
good thing. Sorry, Perch, go.
Oh, no, please. I interrupted you.
I thought it was like, well, maybe it's a really good example of like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be taking fiction so seriously. Like this is an advertisement. It's not real.
Perch told me that Arby's horseradish sauce is 90% Elmer's glue.
Ooh.
That's right. That's
Horsey
it's the
sauce is
rejected glue that
delicious.
doesn't actually work, and this is sticky. So but I think the lawsuit's a little less. I mean, the photos are part of it, but it's more the description around it. It's the statements. I think that is the reason why the lawsuit wasn't dismissed this week, because the statements are inaccurate. Like this is
It's delicious.
Like it's food.
You're ridiculous.
It's all food like product TM.
But somebody in the chat has it right. I mean, I have been misleading my viewers and putting my energy into the wrong place. And really, my focus needs to be the abomination that is the Olive Garden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lowest common denominator Italian food.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When I was back home, you could get the salad and breadsticks. All you can eat. It's like $9.99 now. or
Soup,
something.
salad, and breadsticks for
Man.
$10.
And I'm
And
from
what does
Mexico.
it cost you to get the little plate of hot Alfredo to go with it? What does that cost you?
Oh, geez.
It's like $7.95. Coming out of but here the honest thing is, like, coming out of Olive Garden and complaining about the food is like, I've said it before, is like coming out of a whorehouse complaining that you just didn't feel loved. I mean, you know what you're getting. You bought your ticket. You knew what you were getting into.
You can say the same thing about Marvel. Like, Wes, what are you complaining about Unbreakable X-Men for? Of course it was going to be awful.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair, but
Yeah.
we got a show to do. We got to keep. We got to go back
I
to our
know.
abusive relationship. They said they love me, Perch. They
They're
said they're going to change.
You're beating up the poor
By the way-
comic books again. Oh no.
Yeah. I understand the breadsticks are delicious at Olive Garden, but this is like the people, and I think AL said the same thing. This is like people who say that the fries are good at Arby's. You're right; those things are fine, but your primary product is Italian food or meat. Like if you're the best part of your restaurant is, man, the bread is good. That is a good indicator that this place sucks.
You know whose burgers always look exactly like they do on the screen when I get them? In-N-Out. When they hand me that box of burgers, it always
It
looks good.
In fairness, it does.
How many
Same with
burgers do you get? Do you eat them
Steak
by the
and shake.
box?
Yeah, I get like 4 burgers.
the thing. The whole thing
Right.
comes in a box.
No, I'm kidding.
In-N-Out comes in a box.
Hmm.
There's a box with your
Mhm.
burger, your fries, and your sauces.
Nice. You know what doesn't disappoint? White Castle. It looks exactly like it does on the ads.
Steak
It looks
and
just as soggy as like as you imagine it will be.
This is
It looks like
greasy
they
onion
literally
burger.
took your burger and dumped it in the mop bucket and then gave it to you.
Steak and Shake actually looks like the ads do, because it's just a smash burger.
All I know is when I was back home, the only fast food place that didn't disappoint with like the price and what you got was probably the Jersey Mike's sub place.
Uh-huh.
Jersey Mike's is great.
Mike's is great,
Wes, did you make Perch stop at Arby's for you? Like when you were on the
No,
road
Perch
together?
Perch treated me like shit. You know what? I'm tired of holding this in. Perch would
Okay.
not let me go to Arby's. He
Oh,
wouldn't let me go to Subway. He made me go to some pickleball place. We had a lovely time with the wife and kids, but I wanted a beef and cheddar.
You had your
It
own
sounds
car,
to
man.
me
And
like
you got beef instead.
like you
I
know
didn't
what
know my way around.
It sounds to me like what Perch did is kept you from getting diarrhea.
That is what
He saved your colon.
I did. I'm a,
Wes, in reality, you were sick enough as is. And it was
I was pretty
he was
sick,
being a
wasn't
friend.
I?
I was trying to help you out, man.
Man, so this entire time I thought that Perch had ordered me that like honey lemon tea thing or whatever for my throat, and it turns out it wasn't even you, dude. It was Sully that was
It was
like
me
being the
yeah.
tea mom.
Aw.
I didn't. I would have
was
done
worried.
that. Yeah.
But yeah,
Also,
I needed that.
Perch,
I was screwed
Perch
up.
recommended K-pop Demon Hunters.
Did I?
No,
it's-
Wes just can't reference anybody correctly.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he keeps on every freaking toy review that we do, he's like, and here's some Dragon Ball Z. You love Goku. And I'm like, I have no connection to Dragon Ball Z whatsoever. I appreciate what it is, but I've never watched it. And the only things I think are cool are the villains. You know, the only designs I like are the villains. You know, and he's constantly saying that Dylan recommended K-pop Demon Hunters. You know, he's just assigning things to different people.
There you go.
It's not right.
Well,
Well,
it's
you
one of
have
those
that-
things when you remember something exactly, that's the way you remember it, whether it was right or wrong.
You do have that K-pop boy band look, Dylan.
Well, we're enemies now, I suppose.
K-pop.
Dude, I had an interview with Mark Miller on the channel yesterday,
Yeah.
Dylan, and he says he loves K-pop Demon Hunter. Wait,
Look at-
what else do you need to
Again,
know?
this continues the trend, like I said before, where it's like we got boomer men and zoomer women. I'm neither of those things, so I'll stay away from K-pop Demon Hunters.
I'm not a
That's-
boomer.
My
I'm not
kids
a
love it.
boomer. I'm Gen X, baby.
My daughters love that film. I look the cool video to
See?
make. Other people have made it, but if you want to talk like corporate stupidity, the amount of money Sony sold that thing off for to Netflix is hilarious. That is an amazing story to look into.
I mean, Sony greenlit Ghostbusters 2016 and the Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. I mean, it's not like they're the king of great decisions.
But this is their worst by
Yeah.
much. This one is so funny and how terrible the decision that was.
Netflix is going to make a bunch more money. They're dropping it back into theaters for Halloween, and they're going to do
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise they now have for $20 million. It's so good. Just makes me so happy when a corporation screws up that badly.
Well, I know
It's
you
you.
love the story of Bluey, right, Perch?
Yeah, Bluey is another awesome one. Bluey is a good one because of the revenge aspect of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Tell me the
there's
Bluey
a
tale.
there was a dude that was positioned to be like the heir apparent to Bob Iger, right, Perch?
That's right. Yeah, Tom Staggs. Yeah, and he anyway. It's a longer story. This wouldn't be entertaining for 99% of the crowd, but he was basically the heir apparent, and they kind of screwed around with him. He wound up leaving, went down, kind of invested in this studio, got Bluey up and running, and now is just gouging the shit out of Disney for it, and it's amazing. It's an
Love to hear
amazing
that.
story of. There's a lot in the middle there, but just great stuff.
The only successful thing on their streaming platform.
Yeah, I mean it really is the crux of why a lot of people are buying in. And you know, if you have small kids, Bluey is gold. You will pay that Disney price and smile about it because it shuts them up for hours at a time and they can watch that thing forever. It's like that is worth the price of admission, that one show.
Dylan, who's your favorite Bluey character?
I've never watched Bluey in my life.
Oh, Dylan.
This guy's
Could
all
you-
over the place.
Even I'm a boomer and and I know this. It's the dad, right?
Yeah,
Bluey's, Bluey's the dad, or Bluey has a dad.
Bluey is the daughter, and the dad
Okay.
is Bandit.
you got
Oh,
Bluey
You
and
say, or
Bingo.
Bluey has a dad? Doesn't everyone have a dad?
Well,
A bit general there.
It's not in the picture, you know, or the mom is dead or something. But this one, though, everybody's
the
alive.
Disney movie.
Yeah.
I like Cupcake
Yeah,
or Muffin. I'm sorry, Muffin.
Bandit,
Bandit.
and it's a
The
goat.
mom's chili.
We're talking about
it a
strawberry
crossover with Johnny
shortcake
Quest?
characters right now.
Yeah, bingo.
I thought Bluey was the dad. I had no idea.
No,
No,
Bluey's
it's
the
the
daughter.
daughter, and I thought Bluey was a boy for a couple years, and then I realized it's actually a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, but the dad's great. The dad's a dick too. Like they'll do race. They'll race, and the dad will cheat, and like, aha, fuck you, kids. It's like it's amazing.
Well,
Wait, how many
he's
men
teaching them a
this?
valuable lesson. This is how life is going to treat
Yeah.
you. Be
I
prepared.
agree.
Yeah. So when are you going to get on K-pop Demon Hunters, Dylan?
Never.
It's
Not gonna
ridiculous.
happen.
At this point, it's spite.
It is. It's he's not watching something amazing out of spite. Just because in my memory you were the one that suggested it, even though then it was believed that Sully did it, then it turned out it was just somebody else.
Yeah, somebody in
Wasn't me.
chat. Somebody sent a super chat that did it. But they brought me up within that super chat, and that's why you linked.
That's why I imprinted it on you.
Yeah.
Spite is a perfectly wonderful reason not to see something. I'll never finish Goonies just out of spite.
Now
You're
there's
wrong.
something I've seen.
Okay.
Goonies is a great movie, right, Dylan?
Yeah, Goonies is great.
Fantastic.
Not as an adult. Not as an adult in your late 40s. It is not good. I've also never seen The Godfather, which now I continue not to see it just because it drives Silvani nuts.
If you're gonna watch one of those movies, just watch Goodfellas. It's a better version. Anyway.
I watch Goodfellas every time it's on. Like I own it, but if I'm flipping channels and it's on with commercial breaks and everything and all the cussing taken out, I'll still sit there and watch it. That's how good it is.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So we do have some new Patreons I need to give a shout out to and thank you for supporting the channel. Welcome to Thinking Critical channel memberships to LK, aka Skybrand, the protector of the Airy. And then also thank you very much for supporting the channel to King Zaijan, aka Crownfire, protector of Brimspire. If you're interested in supporting the channel on Patreon or channel memberships, there's links in the video description. You get a superhero name, you get a city to protect, you get a big shout out, and you get awesome podcasts and extra videos that you'll get nowhere else. And who we got? We got Jadron too. This is shenanigans. So DC announced some books for 2026. Any sound interesting to you? For me, it's Legion and Barbara Gordon Breakout. How bad will Howard Sirens be? All right, Dylan, you're the DC guy. What was piquing your interest, dude?
Legion. I hope Legion's good. Lobo looks interesting, and then I'm a huge Deathstroke fan, but all they've done is just destroy that character for like the past 20 years. So that's got me more worried than anything. They didn't announce their creative team for Deathstroke, but maybe they'll actually put a
The
decent
rumor
creative
I
team
heard
on
was
there.
Lemire, but it hasn't been obviously confirmed.
I
Yeah,
heard Lemire
that should-
was
I heard he's doing Barbara Gordon, is what
Oh,
I heard.
okay. I thought it was doing Firestorm.
Obviously, apparently he's rumored to do everything.
he
Heard
was the
she's
only
doing
one.
the fucking who's doing Deathstroke?
I don't know. I did hear Lemire was doing Firestorm, is what I heard. But
So
Firestorm was the one I was excited for because
Yeah,
we never
it
get that
was.
character.
And then I heard Lemire was writing it, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know,
But it was kind of a random hodgepodge of books, Birch.
yeah, it's trying to give off the feel, I think, of the 80s and the 90s for sure. I mean, there is that kind of nostalgia feel. It's the premise is, look, we've got these characters that haven't had a lot of damage done to them in theory, and we haven't done a lot with them, and they're relatively a clean slate, and they could be turned into movies, and so let's actually put some bigger name creators on these books, see if we can build them up and get see what sticks. And that's not a bad concept. Some of the creators on there I like, some I'm not a fan of. I don't know what I don't. Did we hear what Mariko Tamaki is doing in the new lineup?
It's got to be Deathstroke, right? It's the only one that makes sense for Mariko Tamaki.
Yeah.
Which means it makes no sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense, 'cause
Well, we'll see. I like the idea of let's build up some new characters. That's fine. That's a good plan. Let's see who gets on Hawkman when that's there, and there's some good books in there.
There's a Hawkman book?
There's going to be a Hawkman book. I know.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I know
Please
that
no Dennis Camp on Hawkman. That's what I
think
need.
you have 16 books, and how many have been announced so far? 8.
Oh, so there's double it.
There's more.
yeah,
I know
there's
there's
7
more.
announced. There's Zatanna. I think Mariko Tamaki's doing Zatanna.
I think you're right. That's right.
And it's Deathstroke, Firestorm, Batman, Shadow of the Bat. Like, we need another Batman title. The Demon. And I hope it's a rhyming demon. That would actually be cool. I could see Jeff Lemire like knocking out of the park with the Demon. And then
Yep.
there's Barbara Gordon Breakout.
Yeah.
Josh McCann, and then there's 8, and Josh Williamson is doing Legion of Superheroes, and
Mhm.
then there's Scotty Young doing Lobo.
Yep.
Then
I love
Greg
them.
Rucka is returning to do Kate
The
Kane
Batgirl.
Batwoman.
The
Yeah,
Bat-
yeah.
So
That
there's-
I
They
love
say,
Greg Rucka.
who do we got that loves to write lesbians?
Greg Rucka. That's right.
well, it's a good. I mean, you know, a knock on wood. That's a decent foot forward. It's a lot
good
better
fit.
than other stuff we've seen. So I'm you know, and there's about 8 more. I know there's some other names on
Yeah.
there, like Hawkman's on there. I thought there was a Plastic Man in there somewhere. There's a couple like that.
Oh, that would be cool.
I think
love
Scotty Young and Jorge Corona on Lobo will be fine.
Lobo.
Yeah, it should
It'll look
be.
great.
I mean, the key with these books is they tell the creators, you know, dive into making them iconic. Don't dive into doing a brand new bold take we've never seen before. You want to do something new things, of course. It doesn't mean you just do the greatest hits and nothing but that. But if Scotty Young's writing Lobo, then you do have the sense that it's going to be violent and wacky and crazy. And you know, this week had another Adventures in Fairyland. That's not the name of the title. But, I Hate Fairyland book out. And so you could see how this would cross over with Lobo really well, but still remain true to the character. You don't want a writer coming on there and be like, let's make him into a, you know, K-pop boy band looking thing, and you know, and then make him a Twilight vampire. So you just run the classics, but do them new.
I thought the Swamp Thing, Something is Killing the Children crossover is like 2 or 3 years too late, maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Probably would have been a great idea after like issue 12.
Yeah, something is killing the children does not have anywhere close to the buzz it used to have.
We've got HH and the boys at Sigma Comics. Shout out to the Think Critical team and Purge from Baltimore Comic Con. New York City Comic Con was a blast. Support the indie comics and the Think Critical family. We're the future. Hit like and sub.
The
Absolutely.
boys at Sigma Comics.
Go get that money.
The boys
You
and
know,
girls.
I would,
You know, HH's assistant is Casey.
Yeah.
Casey's
She was
Casey's a
great. She
lovely
gave my
young
kids
lady.
like stickers and stuff.
No,
Mhm.
Casey's fantastic. Got to hang out with her at New York as well.
Wicked Pissa, as we say here in Boston. I would
He
love
was
to go to
an ungendered boys, okay? Sparrow. Why you gotta make everything weird?
Boys with
Yeah.
a Z.
Yes.
comics with an X. I would love to go to Baltimore Comic Con. I heard that's the real deal, not New York City Comic Con, but Baltimore is like that's where everyone shows up. And there's like a bunch of people there today. You know, I heard Billy Tucci's there, Von Coleman's there, like everyone. Even
Von Coleman was in New York.
yeah, he's a busy kid, dude. He's getting around.
I don't know. First, it seems like New York Comic Con has kind of taken over San Diego as far as just like where you load up and you release all the news.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Hollywood's going there more. I think it's a venue people like a little bit better. I don't know. San Diego's got a weird kind of vibe at this point. I don't know if it's just people find it difficult to get to. There's not enough kind of hotel for the size of the show. New York can scale better. I mean, it feels like that's maybe part of the problem. But the San Diego airport's just not ideal to get in and out of for massive crowds. And
No.
I don't know. They're just logistically, it just feels like they're struggling a bit. New York does feel like it's becoming the new big one. Baltimore, I agree, is a nice, chill convention. If you're there, hey, go and harass Joe. I think he's walking around in Baltimore, and he loves it especially when he's trying to talk to other comic creators or writers to kind of
Yes.
network. He loves it if you go there and just harass him.
Put your arm around him and be like,
Yay!
I remember you from Comics by
Yeah.
Perch.
Here, have a
Yeah.
comic book. I know you need another one.
That will definitely help. That will help his career. You should definitely do that.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Scumbag Boogie says, like the video, scumbags. Oh,
Thank you,
well,
Scumbag.
scumbags, but
Yes.
definitely like the video. Gonna have some fun here.
Smash that.
Sean Douglas Sutton, good morning. Superman 2025 sucked because of the lack of respect that other characters have towards Superman.
Or is he the biggest target in the world and you know he can take a ball busting? Did you think of that, huh? Yeah, we can have a place for our James Gunn snark.
I remember a lot of characters like having dismissive or disrespectful attitudes towards Superman, other than like Lex and I guess Guy,
Guy.
right?
Yeah,
But
that's
Guy has
basically it.
Guy has a submissive attitude towards everybody. So
Yeah.
That's in character though.
But
That's
Mr. Terrific, like he wasn't in awe of him, but he was certainly treating him with like an equal level of respect.
I mean,
I
and
thought
all
he was
those
good.
heroes were inspired by him to go to Jarnpur. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't say there was any big disrespect to Superman in that movie from all the characters.
No, that's like when I think about why the portrayal of Superman's fine. I really like the portrayal of Lex Luthor, but I just kind of walked away going, that wasn't all that what I wanted it to be. Maybe it was just there was too many characters. Maybe
There were a lot of characters in that movie, and that by itself didn't really bother me. They just could have made some better choices in how they wanted to handle some of these characters. My biggest one's still with the engineer, but
that's because you're a Wildstorm freak.
yeah, well, but no, I mean, I'm not even talking that. I'm talking about like how it would have made more sense if it would have been the original engineer rather than Angela. Hawk Girl, I didn't mind her.
wish she had more to do because I like the actress, but
Yeah, I wish she had more to do other than the screaming eagle thing and like hitting like 4 people with her mace.
I didn't understand the whole screaming thing. I was like, why? I mean, are you not going to do Black Canary in the future? You're going to give that to that whole Sonic Scream thing?
She's savage, man. She screams. She's a screaming eagle. She's savage, and that's
Yeah.
Yes.
And it feels like they're going to end up turning her into Swift of the Authority.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the vibe that I got. She was more Swift than she was Hawk Girl.
I don't think we're gonna get there.
I know. We're I don't think we are either.
Why did you think it sucked, Perch?
I mean, we talked about this. I mean, I remember when it came out, it didn't hit for me. So the movie, I didn't like the Lex portrayal. We argued about that. I think don't look to me like I was crazy during that.
He gave you side eye.
Yeah, he did. I'm not a big fan of James Gunn's humor. I think it was okay in a small dose in Guardians 1. I thought it got kind of excessive in 2. And then while I liked big parts of the plot of 3, those are the pieces that always kind of derailed it for me a little bit. So it doesn't work for me. It works for other people, but I don't love that kind of aspect to it. I've watched Superman again later. I did like it better the second time, which is nice. But there's parts of it that just felt like we're going. My biggest complaint about Superman was going from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene, and there's very little connection between those scenes. It was like it was missing some of the heart, I think, between those moments. Was what I struggled with.
Yeah.
What did you think it was the best superhero movie of the year? Was it Captain America? Was it Thunderbolts? Fantastic Four? Superman?
I've said this before. I'm a big Fantastic Four fan and always have been. So there are elements of that movie that I am biased toward because I liked seeing them come to life there. And so it's not a true, if I'm talking about what I enjoyed just as a fan in the seat, it was probably that movie because of that. Despite the fact I didn't like Pedro Pascal and I didn't like some elements of it, there was just
I thought it just had bad casting.
Yeah, some of the characters worked, some didn't. I grew up. I started comic books with Fantastic Four. So you got Galactus now walking around, and even though him kind of stomping around, the visual gag of that wasn't something I loved as the child fanboy in me was happy with that. And that was why I like Fantastic Four. And I realized there's a lot of personal me in that. I wish they would have just toned the humor down in Thunderbolts, because I think if they'd had just a little bit less snark in there, that could have been just a home run of a movie for me. But
there's a lot of stuff I like about that one until the very end. I like redoing the Thanos snap where he's taking people out and then they kind of get the sentry a little wrong. But otherwise, I kind of like the chemistry.
It was a decent. I mean, there was a good movie in there. I think they wiped out the harm too quickly at the end. Just everything went back to how it was, and I think there should have been some consequences that would have left more of a shadow on those characters. That would have been good going forward. But it was fine. Superman, but I mean, all things considered, look, this Superman film was a lot better than the Kevin Spacey version that they tried a little bit ago, and we can get all the Snyderverse people all pissed off in here, but arguably, I think this Superman sets up that universe better than Snyder's did.
I think this Superman was a more of a Superman movie than Snyder's was. That was a Hyperion movie.
Yeah, I know. I agree. It was fun to watch, but this one I think launches better things for DC than that one did. And I mean, it was not bad. And then what you mentioned, Cap 4 just I didn't like that film. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on there.
It's like three movies stapled together.
It's very Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and I liked. I mean, liked is a very strong word, but I didn't think Falcon Winter Soldier was bad. This was something else entirely.
You know what? I actually see. For me, I think Cap 4 was easily the worst,
Definitely.
followed by Thunderbolts, because I fucking cannot stand Florence Pugh.
I think she
annoys the ever-loving shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
She is easily the second worst part of that movie after David Harbour. Because I like David Harbour, I hate him as Red Guardian. Everything about him is just a joke. I'd say Fantastic Four was probably number 2 for me. I didn't hate Pedro Pascal anywhere near as much as I would expected to. I had some significant gripes about Marvel doing the, hey, it's perfectly fine to stick a pregnant lady in the middle of a, potentially world-ending catastrophe situation. And there is 0% chance that Reed would have done that without her in a full-on fucking mech suit. So that immediately just took me out of that movie. It took a while to get me back.
What is the deal with wanting to put pregnant women in
I don't understand
superhero action roles? They tried to do it with Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. Then they did it in the Spider-Verse sequel with a race-swapped Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, but she had to be pregnant. And now Sue,
they did it with that one fucking Kree lady, or that Nova guard lady that was in some event that nobody remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if she had a name, but she appeared in the entire fucking event. Like, obviously 8 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it showed up a few times, but I mean, we've had 8,000 superhero movies in the last 3 years. I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
but that's 3 examples. I'm with you, but
girls do stuff now, man.
You better get used to it.
There seems to be some sort of recurring theme with it, and it bugs me.
Well, I think it goes back to seriously, as a movie fan. Okay, one of my favorite all-time movies is the Coen Brothers' Fargo from 30 years ago, and nothing is more. Our hero is Marge Gunderson, and she's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant, and she takes down the big bad guy who just stuck his friend into a wood chipper. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's nothing more vulnerable or you want to protect a woman in that late stage of pregnancy. So this is just unbridled feminism through, college.
Yeah. But Marge Gunderson, but she, you fear for her.
Yeah.
Because it is a threat.
It is.
And I'm not in any way undermining the actual strength that women have carrying children. It's unbelievable. But I also don't think that, I've ever seen a woman 8 months pregnant who is, should be involved in any sort of physical altercation.
Here's the issue that I have with it. It's the not them being placed in harm.
Mm-hmm.
That I understand, and it's powerful, for
no, it's
providing
just primal to want to protect a pregnant woman.
Yeah,
but
it really is. It's a visual, easy way to just raise the stakes.
I know, but when they do it where that person is voluntarily going in and nobody's saying anything, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
That's where I have a fucking problem.
Yeah, they did that in The
And-
Last of Us too, as
and
well.
they've done it a number of times in the past couple of years. It drives me insane, and I'm not a person that gives a shit about kids. So it really does drive me insane. But I think Superman was probably the best superhero movie. It's not a perfect movie. It's a very flawed movie, but I thought it was the only one that I left and I didn't go, oh, this whole like 15-minute section of this film drove me up the wall. I think the most annoying part was just the Justice Gang thing instead of Justice League.
Yeah.
Jag
That's
and
a minor
Jew.
gripe.
So is there any hope for new Marvel series in 2026? Well, yeah, every book is going to be rebooted in 2026. You'll get 80 new Marvel series, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't mean there's hope.
Let's see what Josh Williamson can do with Iron Man. We'll get some level of Cap reboot. We'll get a Fantastic Four.
Oh,
reboot.
he's talking about the new ones. I got you. Yeah, I'm Williamson. Yeah, definitely.
No, we'll get stuff. I mean, I think now that not Peter North. Anyway, Ryan North.
The crossover we always
There is a 0% chance that little bitch has a dick anywhere.
Peter
near
North and Riley
Peter
Reed
North.
finally come to the Marvel
Yes,
universe.
there it is. Yeah. Well, so he'll now go to DC and do his work there. Leave it
Don't
to your
say stuff like
imagination.
that.
So you'll get a new Fantastic Four. You get a new Cap. I mean, they'll relaunch Avengers probably with Jed McKay again. So you'll get a handful of things. You'll get the Inglorious X-Force. I mean, come on.
That cover is pretty dope, other than Helverine.
Yeah. Other than everything about that book is actually yes, except for Helverine. The question that I have is, can Josh Williamson unfracture and Bendis Iron Man? Because both of those two fucking retards have made Iron Man a useless character in Marvel.
Look, buddy,
The armor.
I'm with you, but Bendis we're talking 10 years ago now. The amount of Slott was on that thing, and he jacked it up way more than Bendis did.
No, I don't think so. I think Bendis and Fraction did. Dude, he took away his entire family, his entire parentage, his entire ancestral line. He's a fucking.
You had an evil cat. I mean, what do you in Slott's run? You had that thing was absolute.
I'm
garbage,
not saying that it was any. I'm not saying that Slott was better. I'm saying it did less harm.
The last run had Iron Man running around with a giant sword trying to be steampunk. Like the Bendis is so far in the rearview mirror at this point.
I don't know, the weird.
There's compounding. Like it starts with Bendis, and it just kind of destroys your character.
I think
right after, I guess, Civil War.
Fraction demolished a bunch of stuff. Bendis demolished stuff. But I mean, the writing, first of all, it's comics. You can restore that family in exactly one issue with anybody if you wanted to. But the amount of it's not necessarily the changes to his origin, which does annoy me as a long-term fan, but it's the really bad stories that just that whole Slott run was terrible. Like unreadable, terrible. That was easily the worst comic of the year when that was coming out. And that was a bad year.
So by the end of 2026, who will have told the worst Gotham City Sirens story? Tini Howard, which is coming, or Leah Williams?
Ooh. Why would you do that to us? Why would you make us think that? Oh,
Tinny.
no. My head hurts.
Tinny, because it'll somehow have to do with fucking tarot cards.
Yeah, but the Gotham City Siren story from Leah Williams, where they became cowgirls, is really bad.
It's bad, yeah, and the weird himbos.
Yes,
that is a pretty bad series.
I'm gonna go with Leah Williams, I believe.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dylan? Who's worse, Leah Williams, Tini Howard?
I haven't read a comic from either of them in a long time, so I have no idea. I tend to stay away.
Not fair. What do you think, Perch? Who are you going for?
No, Leah's going to write a worse book, but it is that actually. I think Dylan makes a great point. You know what if you're looking at these two options, Poison is the right answer.
Yeah,
Arby's
Stay
is the
away.
right answer.
Arby's.
Can't stop with Arby's. American institution. Jacob Twig. Zack Snyder posted a picture of Superman and all the gun-tards are mad. Restore the Snyderverse.
Oh, geez,
No.
that again. This is why
I don't think
hashtags
going
got
back
banned.
is the answer.
Yeah, it's been done. You tried it. It didn't take it. Now the market would have proved you wrong if it was good enough to take. I'm sorry, Snyder Bros. I'm not here.
No,
to,
I don't know, Sully. I mean, with the huge box office success of Tron Ares, I think getting Jared Leto back in that Joker role, it's time.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I know. But I mean, I got to say, I did like Zack Snyder's Justice League a hell of a lot better than Joss Whedon's. And
Agreed.
I would be interested in watching that in black and white of all things, just because it's like, why not? I enjoyed the hell out of that. It surprised me how much I liked Zack Snyder's Justice League. I love the extended opening on Themyscira. I really liked it had the space and to be decompressed and tell a big story, something.
So Dylan, I believe you like Man of Steel more than probably anybody I know. Like you thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed Man of Steel.
Do you think they need to restore the Snyderverse?
No, because it's all downhill after that. That v Superman was terrible. The second Wonder Woman was terrible. It went all downhill after that first Man of Steel. I really like Man of Steel, but after that, because Snyder was unleashed after that. On that one, he was held on a leash by Nolan and Goyer, and then for the next one, they just let Snyder do whatever he wanted, and it went bad. You saw his future plans were released, which was terrible, where he's going to have like Clark was going to be taken over by the anti-life equation. He's going to hook up with Lois, and they were going to have a kid. And then Batman was going to like sacrifice himself for the universe, and Clark was going to come back and raise his Bruce's child that he had with Lois. So yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, and I don't want to see that restored. And that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I was always
Snyder fans have Rebel Moon. Just go in on that.
True.
Yeah.
Ratings. You'll have a whole universe.
You've
there
got
sitting there.
Rebel Moon
got
and
comic
the
books coming out right
extended
now.
Rebel Moon.
you let Zack Snyder down by not supporting Rebel Moon. You Snyder Bros. That's on
right.
you.
Bro.
Seriously, the market did not show up and support Rebel Moon. Something that like you really could have put over, and it didn't happen.
Snyder Bros need
I
to
watched
support
Rebel Moon.
like teenage girls support K-pop Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
So
if you
Snyder
love that
Bros
product,
call
keep it in.
gun fans gun-tards, and then gun-tards call Snyder fans Snyder Bros?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Look, the Snyder
it.
movies, they just made me feel empty after watching them. And I think that's the reason.
Carlitos Figueroa, I'm cautious about James Gunn's universe plans, but I'm willing to give him a chance. Similarly, the MCU had a shaky start before it improved up to Endgame. Let's see if he can pull it all off.
The MCU started with the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
That was a great start.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that financially because the second movie out was Incredible Hulk that didn't financially perform. It's a great
the
movie.
budgets were like a fraction.
No. Yeah. And then the third movie was actually the Man Thing movie that went direct to DVD.
The guy who shouts Rodney.
Yeah. So I guess you could say it was a shaky, but it's nowhere near as shaky as because Iron Man 100% made a lot of money for Marvel.
Iron Man 2 was shaky. Captain America, the first Avenger, was good. The first Thor movie was good. And then Avengers was great. Like Avengers, knocked it out of the park. It gave you everything that you kind of wanted.
Yeah, and then Cap 2 was exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
Thor 2.
Well, you got to get through Iron Man 3 first, but yeah.
Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 left a lot to be desired, but then Guardians.
I don't think it started out shaky. I think that Hulk movie is good.
Yeah. I liked all the Hulk movies. The Ang Lee one was pretty good. I like
that one's terrible.
Really? I like the panel, like the whole the segues that look like comic book panels. I really thought that was I think the dad part turning into a cloud was kind of weird, but
interesting.
The absorbing dad?
Yeah. Or they turned his dad into Crusher Creel. Yeah. No,
but it didn't feel like the MCU needed time to get its footing. Like it felt like it was on stable ground almost from the beginning. Just kind of going up all the way to Endgame.
honestly, I think Incredible Hulk probably would have done better financially had one, Edward Norton actually done any press, and B, and number two, Marvel not fuck Edward Norton over by not giving him the final cut that he had in his contract.
And if they had not been afraid to make Abomination look cool.
I don't know. I thought Abomination looked
great.
pretty cool.
He needed the ears. He's got to have the ears.
Okay.
Or he's, you know, like
Okay, that's fair.
they're like, we didn't know how to explain why he would have the ears. And I'm like, you just have a line about lizard DNA. For God's sakes, it's not hard. You guys put in these ADR lines all the time to explain much bigger bullshit.
He already has scales all over him. What else did you need to explain?
Jordan Fugate. My biggest issue with Superman is that he never felt like the hero. The Justice Gang Crypto always had to save him. He definitely gets his ass kicked a lot.
He does, but
he's the one who.
Sorry, go Dylan.
I was gonna say he's the one who ultimately saves the day, like throughout the movie. And at the beginning, we see it's his first defeat when he's been around for 3 years, and they tell him like, "You're only at 80%. You just got your ass beat. What are you doing going back in?" He goes back in, and then since then he gets kryptonite poisoning. He gets taken away from the sun, and then he just wins in the end, and he is the one who saves the day. I see a bunch of people like saying this, and I'm like, did we watch different movies? This is not what happened.
Well, the converse Dylan would be if he kicked all the ass, people would be like, "This is why Superman's dumb. He can't be defeated."
Exactly.
He's unrelatable.
That was like the narrative for decades. Was always Superman. I don't like that guy. I like Batman more, even though Batman's the Bat God guy that always wins. And it's like, because Superman just all he does is he's indestructible and he always wins. And then this happens, like, why Superman just gets ass beat the whole time?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Batman's become contingency man. No, but like it's ridiculous. Like, it's like I don't like the Snyderverse, but like I will agree with Dylan for the most part. Like I liked most of Man of Steel, and we got to the third act, and then I was exhausted, and I felt like I just watched a bunch of destruction porn, and I hated the whole Zod execution, and then the way they just kind of like hand wave it away by jumping forward. All this that's the problem with these movies for me is like when you do all of this destruction and you like lay out all here, look at all these big stakes, look at all this crazy stuff that's happening, and then you jump ahead because you don't want to deal with any of the repercussions of the stuff you put in the movie. It's the same reason I don't like, post Endgame, the way they dealt with, Thanos snapping away half the universe, is they just kind of like ham-handedly kind of try to gloss over it, except when they want to make a point about it, like in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but then they don't make the point. It's it kind of drives me nuts. But it's like I like part of that. I liked, I agree with Sully. I liked the Snyder cut of Justice League much better than I liked the Whedon cut. And with all the studio interference. But let's be honest, the Zack Snyder cut is not the cut we would have got from Zack Snyder if he hadn't been interfered with to begin with. That was a post getting fired, coming back. Actually, it seemed like he took on some of the criticism of the way he treated Superman and the way he kind of like organized his universe, and he kind of did some fixes.
And you can't release that in theaters. You can't be like, here's my 5-hour superhero movie. You can't. That movie would make $2. Like you can't do that.
People get Superman wrong all the time. I mean, Superman is not meant to be a undefeatable just god who just just never is under any threat at all. Superman's biggest power is his inspiration and the fact that he gets in and he is a hero when the odds are stacked against him, and he does the right thing when it might kill him because he is self-sacrificing. I as I said before, and when I did the review, when I rated like a 4 or 5 out of 10, that's what I thought of the Superman film. So it's not a glowing review. But there are elements that they did get right. That was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's your favorite Spider-Man or Superman covers? Go! His is Web of Spider-Man 1 and Superman 14 for me. I will go with, is it ASM 31, where he's holding up the building?
Yeah, I think.
Classic.
I like Spectacular Spider-Man number 86 from Assistant Editors Month. It's a Fred Hempek cover. And it's yellow and it's green and it's silly because it's all cartooning, and I just love that cover. I really do.
They have done it to death a little bit, but I think it's Amazing Spider-Man 55. I think 55 or 54. It's a Gleason. It's a more recent one where you have the outline and webs of the face.
The T-shirt design. Yeah.
That is a pretty solid damn cover.
Love that
You
cover.
got a favorite Superman?
I like the J. Scott Campbell Spider-Man. What was it? 31, 30? The guy with where he's crawling over the web ball with robbers in it. It doesn't make any anatomical sense, but I don't care.
Is it his perfectly formed glutes?
Yes,
the eye is drawn
that's
to?
that's his. It's the Spider-Man's great ass cover.
There's another
He's
one
like-
too.
He's like, hey, Nightwing, I'm coming for the title.
It's like mid 80s.
Yeah.
It's black costume, and it's just the outline. It's a black and white cover, so it's just the city skyline and the lights on at nighttime, and it's just the barest definition of Peter in the black suit with the white eyes and spider and the soles of his feet. Like it's really stark. I really like.
Mine was
It's a nice
actually
cover.
ASM 33. I do apologize.
I think for
All right.
Superman, the people forget that the John Byrne run wasn't the most amazing Superman, but some of the covers during the Man of Steel limited series that launched it were really great, iconic Superman covers. You had like the close up of the shield with the shirt coming away was pretty awesome. And then I don't know if anybody will love it, but I love the just down to earth of the Gary Frank covers when he was doing it a long time ago. And there's one with him and Pa Kent, and they're kind of just hanging out at a fence, and it's nighttime. And it's not an action comic at all, but it's just a cool one. I think they're both drinking beer, and he has his Superman shirt, but it's just a really good. It's action comics from at least like almost 20 years ago now, but that was a great cover.
All right, Dylan, what you got for Superman, dude?
Obviously I love Superman 204 from Jim Lee, the complimentary piece, the one he did for Batman where they're on the city. That one's great. And then the Kryptonite Nevermore cover is great, where he's breaking out of the Kryptonite chains. I like those.
So there's a cover that Perch shared of Superman where Lois Lane breaks a heel on her shoe and calls in Superman. He's like, Lois, I'm saving the world, but she called him in anyway. And I felt like that was the most relatable thing that ever happened in comic books.
I'll take any Superman cover from the Silver Age where he's just being a dick, or he's fat, or
There's a lot of those. Yeah,
I love it. And they did it with the Flash too. It's like, oh my god, like the Flash, he's 400 pounds. Like I love that stuff. Or he's just being mean to Lois for no reason, or being mean to Jimmy. Those are hilarious.
Man, I remember there's like a Spider-Man thing where he's like trying to swing, but he can't because he's too fat. He's like, I need to save Aunt May, but I can't because I'm too fat.
Because it was like if Spider-Man was in the DC Silver Age. Yeah, it's
they're beautiful. The Silver Age stuff
was great.
Yeah, the Superman cover that I love is I still love the cover of All-Star Superman #1
right here,
with him just sitting on that
on the cloud. Yeah, it's great. It says everything. It tells it. That's 1,000 words right there. I like this one too. This is a Bronze
Age.
Okay,
we've done enough. We got to keep going. Fatih Kaiser A Room. I started reading comics around 2015 when I was 17. However, I no longer feel the need to read new comics. Am I getting old? They don't enthuse me anymore.
You may be getting old.
Well, he's only 27.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course. Yeah. Things look. Your opinions change. It is normal.
Not every hobby is going to be a lifelong hobby.
It can be, and for some people, it's a phase of life kind of thing. It's actually really common. Retailing for a long time. You have people come in, they read for a while, they take a 5-year break for some reason, they lose interest, they come back. It's common. But the other thing that is going on is a lot of the comic companies, both of the big two at this point, are more Marvel. I mean, definitely Marvel at the moment. They're treading water to some extent. So it is hard to get kind of enthused when the goal right now is to kind of maintain the status quo until the next big thing happens.
If the publishers aren't enthused, they can't get you enthused. It's that simple. Read old comics. You actually probably really enjoy that.
Also, I think that we live in a very unique time in history. It's like stories are not meant to go on forever. And the fact that we've have all of these decades upon decades upon decades of stories with the same characters, that's not really happened at any other time in human history. Usually things end.
How many Sherlock Holmes books actually are there? Like real ones. No, but I mean,
killed him off and had to bring him back as people lost their mind on Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, there's only a dozen, 2 dozen.
No, it's got to be like well into the 40s or something.
The story of Misery actually happened to Arthur Conan Doyle when he killed off Sherlock Holmes. That's a true story.
Yes. but no, if you're not loving comic books anymore and it's not your thing, you'll find your thing and maybe you'll find your way back. It's kind of the way it is.
Pivot to indie books, pivot to action figures. There's all kinds of look, there's so many things that want your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Conan Doyle wrote 4 novels and 56 short stories featuring Holmes.
So 60. Mr. DC Comics.
Sorry, go ahead. We need to move on. Please go ahead.
What were you saying?
No, it will launch into a bigger conversation. Let's take care of your fans.
Yeah, we still got to talk about all this James Gunn stuff.
Yeah. Mr. DC Comics. Now that Sean Aries is over, can Jared Leto please go and be cast in John Wick? Am I the only one who thinks he's a perfect fit for John Wick movies? Yes.
I mean, I'd like to see John Wick kill him.
Well, yeah, I think that's what he's alluding to. He just wants to see him get murdered by Wick.
You know, speaking of gun movies, I was excited when Pete Davidson got killed in the Suicide Squad. When he got his head blown off, I was like, all right.
In John Wick 2, they do have that one villain that ended up playing, I guess, Batwoman, where she's like 85 pounds. So I guess you can put somebody that doesn't look strong into a John Wick movie.
Yeah, and then that was great because like they had the build up. They're like talking shit throughout the whole movie. Then in the end, he just tosses her around. It's not even a fight. And he beats her so easily. That was great.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Leto in as Skeletor though. That's coming in the He-Man movie. That's definitely gonna bomb.
If he's Skeletor for like 90% of the movie, which he won't be, he won't be.
No, they're gonna do the Keldor thing because he looks like Keldor, I think.
Yeah. If he was Skeletor and he was just doing his wildly overacting for like the entire thing, it would be fucking great. It would fit it perfectly.
Yeah, it could work.
I think you should go back to...
Sean? Sorry,
I was gonna say.
Did anybody get to see Sean Aries? Was it good?
Haven't yet.
Not
Going
watch
to. I'm gonna go see it. I'm not a massive Tron fan. I tried to. I watched the first one with my kids last night. They were not into it. It's too old. It hurts me.
It's very of its time.
They just can't.
It's a very dull film, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it didn't nail it. But I'm gonna go see it. I was hoping.
Well, Legacy was a perfectly good movie. It just didn't make it.
I really liked Legacy.
I like Legacy a
really
lot.
cool.
And when I found out they were doing another Tron, I was excited until I found out what they were doing. And I was like, oh, if it's not a sequel to Legacy, then I don't care. And and then even Daphne, who is a huge Tron fan, like said that like she went into the triple feature. They're showing all 3 movies. And she said by the time Legacy was over, she was like, I could leave now because she knew it wasn't going to be good. And it was not.
Jacob Twig. People always complain about Superman and Man of Steel not smiling. They don't watch the movie. He smiles a lot. And when he's in battle, what is there to smile about?
Yeah, he smiles a decent bit in Man of Steel more than people think.
That's a complaint that I've actually not really heard much.
I haven't heard that one.
It was all around the discourse of Man of Steel when it came out. Was he didn't save anyone, he didn't smile. Trust me, it was a big thing when that movie came out.
That's right.
I wasn't on the Twitters back then.
Well, I remember
telling people to smile. It's not just for ladies anymore.
I do agree with the criticism of he doesn't fucking save anybody.
He does save a bunch of people in that movie.
And his dad tells him he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, he saves the kids on the bus, and then that's it.
He saves the dog.
No, he saves the guy that falls out of the helicopter. He saves a bunch of those dudes actually in that Smallville fight. I mean, and he saves the entire planet as well.
It just gets overshadowed by all the buildings that he punches Zod through.
Except he doesn't punch Zod through like any buildings. It's Zod punching him through buildings. The one thing that you can get for Superman in that movie is the stupid dumbass Snyder being like, wouldn't it be cool if we had a tanker explode behind him? It's like, how are we going to have that happen? Have Superman just jump over it instead of stop it. That was the one thing where it's like, because pretty much everything else, he takes him through the gas station. That's the one thing he takes him through. Other than that, it's all Zod and him taking him through stuff.
Yeah, but it's like
it's a Superman that learned to fly and fight 15 minutes ago. So,
but again, that's in the writing. You could have wrote something different.
Yeah,
it wasn't in in Man of Steel where he proclaims like he doesn't know why he's doing it to Lois, right?
No,
in
that
the,
was Batman Superman. So
Yeah.
that's one of the really stupid things, because in Man of Steel, she's like, the only way for you to get away from all this is stop helping and saving people, and I don't see you doing that. That seems to be a natural part of who you are. And he's like, yeah, that's who I am, blah, blah, blah. And then in Batman Superman, he's like, I never wanted to do any of this. This was the dream of a farmer. This all sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, why did we go backwards?
Well, maybe I'll give it up for that, because it could just be that moment of just like self-pity where you're like, I never wanted any of this. Because have you ever said anything like that where you're like, I never wanted any of this, and people are like, no, you did. You
asked for all of it.
Yeah,
no
you
one
asked for all of
stays
it.
good in this world. Then the ghost of John Kent is like, one time there was a flood and all these farm animals died. All right, good luck. It
was weird when
so
Han
bad.
Solo showed up and forgave him.
But D. Kaiser Irum says, I'm a huge fan of Jason. Are there any chances of Red Hood film?
Yeah, the animated one. That's a really good one.
I think he's asking for live action. I will
Yeah,
like if you're going to make a live action like solo movie about one of the Robins, Red Hood is the one that makes sense. It's the story, right?
It's just the Punisher.
You can't get there. Like, with what they're doing, like it's
You do have to you have to go through Robins and have him die and everything before you can bring him back for it.
What about the HBO show Titans? I know they brought in Jason Todd, but did they make him Red Hood?
I don't know. It bounced up.
I didn't watch
I
it.
believe so, but that show was terrible.
What do you think, Perch? Are we getting a Red Hood movie?
Yes.
under James Gunn.
Yeah. Sorry, you want me to expand? Probably. Yeah, I mean, like what I said, Red Hood is a logical movie to do, or HBO series. I'm kind of blending the two together. I mean, that feels like one that you could take the Peacemaker route on the streaming service. But I mean, logically, that would make some sense. I think we'll get one for sure.
Because Damien's already there or is going to be established as the Robin. All you have to do is acknowledge that Jason Todd died.
Yeah, wasn't there?
I mean,
supposed
that's
to
how they did it in the Arkham games. It's like there's no mention of him until the Arkham Knight, and then he's the Arkham Knight in the least surprising.
You get a couple of flashback scenes of the Joker and all that stuff. You don't even have to go through the crazy story that gets you there, where Joker becomes like an Iranian ambassador.
Obviously, the Snyderverse was going to do it because they had that spray painted costume, and Harley Quinn and Joker helped kill a. They killed a Robin.
But I think, and I'm not a fan of them when they do this, but this problem, you don't need to do the backstory. You can do the same kind of info dump that you did at the beginning of Superman of, Batman had a Robin at one point who was killed. This is his story. And then off you go. And it will be cheap and maybe unfulfilling, but very easy for them to take that route.
Federico de la Casa, last time Iron Man was good was when the Knopfs were on during Civil War. The first pages of Joshua Williamson seems promising to me.
Yeah, I'm excited about Joshua Williamson taking over Iron Man. I feel like it does have the chance to be the first good Iron Man in
Like 20 years.
I mean, I'm not thrilled with the armor. It looks like it's just ripped off of the movie, and I get the steampunk one and the Mysterium armor. At least that they tried something a little different. So this, I don't know. I'm not too thrilled with this Mark 75 armor.
I'll be honest, I don't care about the armor. I just want them to get Tony Stark right, and then we can worry about armors for me. But that's
what's your favorite armor though?
Me, the stealth suit from 1981. It was the Mark IV armor, the usual iconic one. But it's
when he's fighting Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man in the snow.
That one I think was in the 200s. I think is it 151 or 175. I got it up there somewhere, but it's the Mark IV armor, but it's all black with red eyes. I love the classic look.
I always loved Silver Centurion.
Yeah, that's mine.
I think whichever armor Mark Bright was drawing was the best one.
Can't disagree.
He could put him in any armor. It's good.
That's true.
Frank Zanka says, "Happy Saturday, everyone. G.I. Joe was the best of the week for me." It's definitely in contention.
I need to go
pick it up.
G.I. Joe's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a change in artist, which is a little bit different, but otherwise, pretty darn
Pelletier.
No, he's on.
Oh, you guys
A
are
Real
talking about
American
G.I.
Hero.
You're not talking about a Real American Hero. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it wasn't Tom Riley or Andrea Milana this week. It was a new artist, the first one. but it is pretty
Marco
good.
Fedora.
Yes, it introduced a new character. I guess I won't give it away, but I agree, Frank. That was definitely one of the highlights of the week. Mr. DC Comics, would Rock's deal for the DCU have been that bad? Superman versus Black Adam would have been epic, especially with Henry Cavill.
It would have been a good moment, but I don't think it would have been a good universe.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, you'd have had to establish Black Adam as a character that I was invested in at all in
Uh-huh.
order for me to be interested in him fighting Superman, and they did not do that with that Black Adam movie. The only thing that I liked out of the Black Adam movie was I was like, man, I want to see more of Hawkman, and I want to see more of Dr. Fate.
Dr.
Pierce
Fate.
Brosnan as
Dr. Fate.
was
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah, I
Dr.
love the
Fate is
JSA
so
part.
cool.
Yeah, I didn't mind Black Adam all that much. You know, I wish they would have had Shazam though in a Shazam movie. It's kind of like the same thing with the Spider-Man movies, like without Spider-Man. I mean,
Or a
Black
Tron
Adam
movie without Tron.
without Tron. I mean, what's the deal with that? You have this opportunity to make a movie, and you're not giving. You know, let's not give the fans what they want. What are you thinking?
It's like running a dinosaur theme park and not having any dinosaurs on the tour. What are you doing?
Yeah. Federico De La Casa, I liked Superman and Lois more than Gunn's version.
The Dean
Yeah.
Cain, Terry Hatcher?
No, the Superman and Lois, the
Oh, the
CW
TV
show.
The
the
CW
Tyler
show.
Hoechlin one.
That first episode was exceptional. The one where he saves the kid, basically reenacts the cover of Action Comics 1, and the
Yeah.
kid's like, "I love your costume," and he's like, "Thanks, my mom made it."
My mom made it, yes.
Mhm.
That was so perfect.
I
loved
I
it.
think Smallville on the whole was pretty solid. I mean, they definitely had some crap in there for sure, and went sideways in a bunch of episodes. But all in all, it was good. And the fact that there was some kind of weird sex ring going on in the background made it even better.
Dude.
Once they got past that first season where it was like everybody's infected with kryptonite, you know, they kind of got into more complex plots. Smallville did get pretty good, but yeah, the definitely overshadowed by all the weird sex trafficking going on behind the scenes.
Well, you were rooting for Chloe, and little did you know she was going on.
What do you think, Dylan? What's the best Superman show? Was it Superman and Lois? That's the one I personally like. I think Tyler Hoechlin, while he doesn't look like Superman at all, like embodies him just with the way that he carries himself.
I agree. He did a great job. Doesn't really look like him, but he did a great job. That's probably my favorite of the live actions. I've seen a little bit of Smallville. I just couldn't ever get into it.
Well, it was bad. They had a good Lex Luthor.
I liked
They had a good Lois.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lois was all right. I didn't mind. I just wish that I hated the way
Lois
they
shows up
did
to, like,
Doomsday.
season 5.
Yeah, but Erica Durant's.
Erica Durant. Oh,
Doomsday
yes,
wasn't done well. You're right.
Dan
Doomsday
Whitmer was great.
not done well.
I liked him. I mean, I was a big fan of Smallville. I tuned in every Wednesday, man,
And
for years.
I hated the way that they wrote Lex off that show.
Mm-hmm. And then brought him back so ham-handedly too. And but
Just
I-
in the fucking the truck where he's hooked up to all the machines,
Mhm.
and then they
Yeah.
just killed him.
Yeah, and
You never actually see him.
rather flat. Yeah, and then like having what Lionel be like. What was he? The anti-monitor at the end, or something like that. It got convoluted, but
It
you know.
suffered from CW's throw stuff at the wall to some extent, but it was a fun show to watch. I mean,
Yeah,
and to the bigger, just the whole James Gunn topic and just the movies in general. I mean, I would love for things to be a really great home run of a movie, and I want to remember it forever and be on my shelf. But that's a very small amount of movies for me that fit that. I will still watch Galaxy Quest over and over because it's a fun
Good
movie
movie.
that belongs. But that's tiny. If it mainly when I go to the theater, I want to mostly have fun. And later, it's also fun to pick out all the weird shit that was in that movie that was wrong and stupid, and the Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff. I find fun in that. It's not complaining, but generally, if I'm having more or less a good time, I'm okay.
World of War Comics, we got Tommy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Hope you enjoyed the Mark Miller interview. I tried to channel my inner Tommy and do as good a job as you did. I probably didn't reach it there, but we had a good time. I hope people got to check that one out, and definitely check out Tommy's channel. Really great guy. Got to meet him in Dallas, and I'm glad that we're good friends now. Kaiser Jose, Wes, are you reading Venditti's Bad Idea books? All of them are bangers. No, it's very difficult to get my hands on the Bad Idea stuff. Although I did get the Pizza Detective and stuff at the very beginning, but it's been a few years. Have you been getting to read the Bad Idea Venditti stuff, Perch?
Every now and then. It is hard to. I mean, you can get them, but it's not as simple to get them. The Bad Idea. There's some good books in there. I just
there's some really good creators.
There are. I hate the marketing, and I would like to punch that guy in the face. But otherwise, it with love, I would like to punch.
They're one of those in Minecraft. They're one of those publishers that I forgot existed, like them. Yeah. Distillery, there's a lot
Humanoid I forgot about until this
Humanoids.
Yeah, until they folded.
Distillery, everybody's forgot about.
I don't think nobody really knew about it to begin with. Is the problem?
Yeah. I think T.D. Howard had a book debut this week from Distillery.
Oh man,
reading Survive, which is 2 issues in from Venditti and Braithwaite, and it's pretty good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
He also did that Planet Death, right?
Yeah, he co-wrote that.
All 4 of Kenny's readers will be really sad.
Aw.
So unfortunately, I'm still a huge Venditti fan. I wish he would get over to DC, but I'm shocked that Marvel hasn't said, you know what, at least we could bring in a competent writer at this point. And they haven't done it.
A lot of editors don't know who he is.
They don't?
I mentioned it to one of the people I know in the X office, and they did not know who that person was.
That is crazy.
That is
fantastic. Green Lantern run.
He probably also requires actual money to work.
I mean, money's good.
Wow, that just seems like supreme
ignorance.
You
get what you pay for.
To not know who Robert Venditti is, and they're your competition, Marvel. Come on, damn.
Look,
so let's get into this James Gunn DCU. Obviously, you had the Superman. We've got Forbes coming out saying that it wasn't a profitable movie. We've got season 2 of Peacemaker, which seemed to generate a ton of negative press and controversy. Now it's been confirmed that we will not be getting Peacemaker season 3, that the cliffhanger and all that stuff will play out in the Superman Lex Luthor versus Brainiac team-up movie that apparently will be coming out in 2027. We've got Supergirl and Clayface on the horizon, but there's also rumors that if Skydance buys Warner Brothers, which is, I guess, been all the talk as of late, that James Gunn will be one of the first people out the door. And first, it sounds like you are more bullish on this than some of the information that we've been getting out there.
I'm bullish. I mean, look, it's fun to watch videos that say it's crushed and it's bombed and everything else, but they're not pulling the plug after a show and a movie. I think the math that people are using to say it lost money and just the problem is everything I'm about to say is going to come across, and some of you will be like, he's giving a big, I love James Gunn defense of it. So that's not what that is. If that's what you hear, you're stupid. But whatever.
You love SJWs, Perch.
Yeah. Christ. I do like math. And math it tends to be pretty binary. But anyway, it lost money article from Forbes. So number one, anyone can write articles for Forbes. I hope people realize that you understand.
Yeah, it was a contributor piece.
It is a contributor piece. It is this. Anybody here, anybody in the chat can write an article for Forbes this weekend if you want to. So by all means, go write your articles. I read that article. It is highly cherry picks what's been going on and the money that's been made. It's leaving out massive amounts of the money. It's making huge guesses at how much marketing spend. It's like we're just taking for granted that marketing is 2.5x the budget, which is insane. That is not at all common. That is not common language. It's something that it seems every 2 years gets exaggerated by a couple $1 million every single time. That's just dumb. And I guess, and I realize I sound like other YouTubers at the moment. Why are we so obsessed with the profitability of movies? And I mean, we had a good discussion here for the last hour about whether we like things or didn't like things. And I like tons of stuff that lost money. Should I not? I like David Lynch. He doesn't make money. So what's the deal? But the idea that this movie is a bomb and a flop and everything is that doesn't math to use that phrase.
Yes, and to piggyback off that, at the end of the Forbes article, the person that wrote it was like, also, this is all speculation. I have no idea. So like they did all this thing at the very end. They're like, well, no. So they like pretty much
literally, yeah. Why? Yes, it's even in the article, and it's rare that somebody does actually admit it. The guy's like, yeah, and this is all my own, coming out of my own ass. Okay. Sure. So we're all gonna go down on it. And look, jackass, this is not a fence sitting position. It's a pretty non-fence sitting position what I'm doing right now. So just get out, stop smelling your own farts, and just it is what it is. We can like things that made money. We can hate things that don't make money. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I think it's kind of like it's like sports talk. I mean, a lot of this stuff, it comes from sports radio, like especially like I'm a lifelong Red Sox and Bruins fan. You know how many times our teams have sucked over the years? How many times I said that guy shouldn't be on the power play, that guy shouldn't be pitching, this team sucks, but do I still love them? Yes. Do I still wear their apparel? Do I still go to the games? Do I still support the team? Unequivocally, yes. And so something like this counting other people's money idea comes from, I think it comes from like just sports stuff. Like, hey, this guy is making, $8-9 million a season and he sucks.
Yeah.
It's the same. I think it's the same kind of thing. It's we're just talking about shit. We're just talking about like, hey, what is good and bad? What are the
For sure.
Yeah, and it becomes a discussion of, are they leaving money on the table? If they had done something different, would it have made money? And then we had the guarantee, then we have the guarantee of more, and ultimately that is kind of like the idea is I said a while back when they did that Thundercats Roar cartoon, I said, this is a bad idea. This is going to tank. And all the cartoon stands, of course, got mad at me, and I was like a copy pasta for a couple of days. But the fact of the matter is, I never said this thing shouldn't exist. I said that the problem is if you take something like Thundercats and you go, okay, we're going to do this really dumb version of it. And there is an audience, maybe there's an audience for that. Maybe there isn't. But if you don't have any other version of Thundercats out there, what tends to happen, the worry is always that the studio will look at it and go, well, obviously people don't like the Thundercats. Much like Disney is doing now, they're saying like, oh, obviously people don't want Tron. Well, maybe they do, but you don't know because you didn't put out a Tron that people wanted. It could just be that you guys made bad decisions and you lost money and you're like, oh, okay. But if you had a version out that people were interested in, if you'd done a Tron Legacy sequel, which has had, 15 years now to kind of like build a cult following, you might have done better. I still don't think of spending $180 million on a Tron movie is a good idea. But if you'd spent less and you'd given people what they wanted, you might have had a success on your hands and maybe you would have had a more viable franchise.
More money and success equals a franchise. Number one, there is no evidence it lost money in its theatrical run. No actual evidence. And again, this article people are pointing to is full of shit. None of this is me giving a big defense of the studios, the choices they made, James Gunn, any of that shit. It's just that is crap. So that's number one. Two, for what it's worth, I did like Demon Slayer better as well, like a lot better. But again, I like to go to movies and like them when I watch them, because otherwise I feel like I'm screwing myself with both time and money. But none of the things that have happened, both with Peacemaker season 2 did increase viewership, at least from what HBO's reporting from season 1. Did it have controversy? Absolutely. But at least what they reported, and keep in mind, it's a public company. So if they are blatantly wrong about this, they're going to have to issue a retraction or get fined. So people lie all the time, but there's nothing to suggest in these two efforts that the DC universe is done and they're going to fire James Gunn. I mean, put it this way. He and Kathleen Kennedy can walk out the door at the same time. I mean, it's going to happen any day now for
any day.
For sure.
Any day. Oh, there's a civil war going on.
It's definitely going to happen. But so we're going to get a couple more movies. I completely agree with the point of there's decisions that get made that I think are bad from a capitalist perspective, that if you made different decisions, you would make more money and you would stabilize your universe, and that would be smarter to do 100%. But it is a little wild to me that people go all in on an article that admits in itself that it's making shit up. And somehow that's the thing that everybody gravitates to. It's strange. It is very strange.
I'm going to write every article. I'm just going to a bunch of articles now where I just wildly claim things and at the end go, but I pulled this all out of my ass, so take it for what you will.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
Pin me, pay me.
No, and by the way, no, in the comments, the basic math, no, it does not lose somewhere in the realm of 40 million. That is bullshit. That is making a massive assumption that marketing is a stacked 2.5% of budget, which there is zero evidence that is the case. This is a public company. Grab their annual report, look for itself. But keep in mind, whether it lost 40 million, gained 40 million, made 400 million, that is completely irrelevant to whether you personally liked it or not. If you didn't like it, you don't need to justify it by saying it lost money.
Perch, let me ask you this. When they factor in whether a movie is profitable or not, do they factor in things that we never see, such as like, well, we sold this many like licenses for all this stuff. Like we got McFarlane to pay us for this toy license, and we got 7-Eleven to pay us for, to put Superman on cups, and we got this company to pay this. Does that factor into what they look at as the total movie budget, or is that like a separate division and they don't count it at all?
Entirely separate. And the people who are doing these numbers don't capture any of those. They don't capture aftermarket, and aftermarket tends to be significant. The airlines will pay in for a theatrical run on the planes. So will cruise ships, so will hotels, so will streaming services. They own their own, but still there is more to this picture, and it is dense. A lot of this money is not always reported or gets rolled in an annual report, so it's hard to piece off and everything else. That's why this is complicated. But what I think is unfair in these movie assessments that people never go to is in the costs, they will just roll in these wild estimates. All right, well, marketing has to be 2.5% of budget. But in the profits, like nobody does the same thing. There is never any accountable for post-market money. And a lot of this money is paid before the film even comes out. There's a famous kind of article on Waterworld where a bunch of people went in and bought rights post-theatrical release. And of course, the movie bombed and they lost money. And this is how that can compound. But that money is spent. So it's just like we estimate costs. You have to estimate returns as well. And then eventually you do get annual reports from companies, and you can take a look at least try to ascertain where some of this stuff comes in. But I know a lot of people are running with this. It was a massive flop. It lost money. It's a disaster. But again, there's no hard evidence that is the case. And
well, I don't think the Forbes article characterizes it a massive flop. It just says that it lost some money.
I think you were stepped away when we talked about this. That Forbes article also ends with the guy saying he is just basically estimating a lot of this stuff and doesn't actually know.
Yeah. But also what we've seen a lot in the past, and at least for the few years now, this isn't from Warner Brothers, this is more from Disney, that those estimates are always end up being low.
Yeah. And strictly box office, again, there's no evidence it lost money, strictly box office. Period.
And remember, James Gunn is pretty well known for coming in on time and on budget. So, because
there's also no evidence that it was an enormous, like, huge financial windfall that you would expect a Superman movie, in the market where, when they greenlit this, they probably thought, superheroes are still going to be the dominant, franchises and movies. I think they missed their window, Perch.
There's a lot of what you said there. I mean, first of all, nobody, and hopefully nobody's hearing that what I'm saying either. I'm not standing here going, well, this thing actually shadow made $2 billion. No, not at all. The question is, was it profitable enough for DC to keep putting money into James Gunn and letting him keep going? The answer is yes. He will keep going. He's going to need some actual significant failures and money loss before they pull the plug. They're not going to pull the plug after one movie and a show.
No, he's already got Supergirl lined up. Sure. It sounds like Clayface is already filming, I think.
Mm-hmm. What happened to that Batman and Robin movie? They announced that too, right?
Brave and the Bold.
I think there was when he put up his list of here's all the films we're going to do. I remember, and I think I was on this show, and I had the dissenting opinion then too of like, I don't think any of those ideas are really vetted. I'll bet you anything, half these things will never occur. Like the Authority and some of these stuff. I mean, they're throwing it up, but this is a guy throwing up like a wish list of content. I don't think any of that stuff actually makes it to screen. And it
was on this show. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and everybody's like, you're full of shit. And I'm like, but honestly, people do this
you're
stuff.
On the fence. No, I think the panel agreed with you. We were like, I can't see a lot of this stuff happening. Like,
it doesn't sound like Swamp Thing's happening. It doesn't sound like the Authority's happening. Wonder Woman is now actually going to be a movie instead of just a TV show. He's definitely changed up the plans.
Well, I knew
wasn't
that
Clayface originally.
I felt like that Wonder Woman thing was never going to happen. It's like, we're going to do a pre-Wonder Woman show where it's all about like Game of Thrones kind of maneuvering.
Yeah,
and
the
we were all like,
Themyscira
what?
show.
Yeah, we're like,
You're gonna- I think we likened it to Sony's Spider-Man free Spider-Man Spider-Verse.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see what also comes of this, but and again, can the studio pull the plug? Yeah, the studio can pull the plug anytime they want. Obviously, will they? No. There's no evidence that they're going to do this after one film, and the one film wasn't a big bomb. And Kathleen Kennedy isn't getting fired tomorrow, although probably should. So we'll just, this is unfortunately, this is the world we live in.
Now, there is, I think, a lot of this is also contingent upon, Warner's future and whether or not they get sold and whether or not the new ownership decides they just want to go in a different direction.
And I think that will have a lot more to do with if it's Universal or Paramount, and both names have been in the mix, Paramount more recently. Part of them buying it will be for this. They're going to want these properties and they're going to keep going. Now, whether they keep going with James Gunn,
yes,
personally, is a different story. Will they keep going with this universe?
Yeah,
I think they probably will. It's too costly to reboot us. They've rebooted a few times already, so maybe they will. But I mean, it's just there is an exhaustion of that. A lot of these actors are younger; they can do things with them. So I don't. If there's an acquisition, I think they will continue the universe. Now, if they don't continue with James Gunn or not, I think that's going to have a lot to do with James Gunn's likability and relationship inside the studio. I think if we're judging it purely by putting a film out, he probably checks that box for them. I know this may shock a lot of you, but there are many of the directors and the producers in Hollywood are unlikable dicks. As it turns out. So it's not that piece that will get him. It will be kind of, does he have the friends at the top levels of these companies? Do they have somebody else they'd like helming this thing? I mean, that's always a good question. It'd be the same question if Disney sold off Star Wars to, name your Netflix, and they're going to keep Kathleen Kennedy. Probably not. They have their own version of Kathleen Kennedy they put into that slot. But anyway, that's how I would see it.
I think there's a few other factors that I think you need I would be surprised if they aren't being considered when you think about like the DCEU, which obviously James Gunn wasn't a part of, but you have to go all the way back to that Aquaman movie.
Sure.
For the last like big success. And they've had at least like 10 movies since then. And a lot of them performed very poorly.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen franchises and people with portfolios take a lot longer to make moves with a lot worse results. I think we're very hypersensitive to this one, and a lot of this has to do with Snyder Bros versus Guntards or whatever. I mean, that is a factor. It is also, and I mean no disrespect to any of you, I have a channel. Obviously, many people here have a channel. It is a lot more profitable. We get a lot more attention when we talk about the dire situation, then everything is more or less fine. And frankly, that's what a lot of the people who watch the videos want too. So, we tend to look at things in more extreme ways. But, unfortunately, history would tell us we're going to get a couple more movies. I think Supergirl, that kind of floats by. I think the big test for him is when he does this second Superman movie. Is it going to have the same kind of additive effect? If you're looking at the Marvel world, those movies did start out slow financially, and then they built. The Captain America made more money the second time. A lot of the money. Iron Man, same thing. They're going to be looking for this second Superman movie to do that same effect. If it stays flat, that is going to be the most damning thing to the whole universe than anything else. You're not, you put this foundation and they're going to expect you to build on it. And that what percentage of build on it are you doing is what people are going to assess.
I think they're also probably in the process of reevaluating their level of expectation for what is qualified as a success. They may end up looking at Supergirl kind of the way that Marvel looked at Incredible Hulk. Okay, it made its money back. That's all we really give a shit about. All right, we won't do a sequel to this. And on to the next thing. Now, is there the possibility that it could kind of get DCEU'd? Because remember, after Man of Steel came out, they did announce a sequel. And then it never happened.
Yeah. And that could happen here too. But
yeah.
they're going to try and build on this as foundations go. It's not as bad as I mean, it's a perfectly fine foundation. We'll see where it goes from here. Do I wish they didn't call it the Justice Gang? I don't like the Justice Gang name. Sure. I mean, that's what I said. I enjoy going to movies. I enjoy watching them typically. I enjoy then going into a bar and complaining about them infinitely because that's what comic nerds do.
That's right.
And it's fun. And that doesn't mean I hate everything I saw. It's because that's fun. Anybody who's been in a comic shop has had this experience. You read the event and you complain about it. Where I think it goes south is if the event is something like, One World Under Doom, and like you don't even care about it enough to complain about it. Like the movie, the comic is so stupid that you can't even muster up any energy to complain. The fact that we're so passionate about this and you can do a show every Saturday and we can get in and we can brawl about this kind of stuff, that's an indication that there is passion still in this industry. Apathy is the death of it. We haven't hit that yet.
Do you think that Gunn might have set his own trap though with the Supergirl movie? It's not going to be on Earth. It's going to be in space. You're throwing in Lobo. It's not going to be a cheap film to make, or like obviously they're done filming and stuff. And I just can't have expectations where a Supergirl movie is going to come anywhere close to a Superman movie.
No, I think they're trying to hit, a surprise home run in the sense of when James Gunn came in and did Guardians, I think a lot of the same things were said. You're going to have a tree character in Raccoon. This isn't mass marketable. What are you going to do? So they're trying to kind of create something like that. Batman's been done to death. They're not sure what to do with Wonder Woman. They're wanting to kind of hit, there's an expression here. It's just, I'm missing it, but it's like strike gold out of this. But I think the odds are against it. It will have one benefit in that people are not going to expect it to make $1 billion. And so really it will kind of be rewarded for low expectations. So if it's able to kind of meet those, that will help. But if I were Gunn and I was putting this thing together, I wouldn't go, my second real film out of the gate, I wouldn't go Supergirl. I don't think that's the strategically best move to make. But
no, it definitely wasn't. But
yep.
He's still doing it. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
well, and the way she showed up at the end of Superman did not make me excited to see Supergirl either. Like it was just like, oh, all right, we're doing this, huh?
Oh boy, and she's so likable, isn't she? I mean, that's just again.
She called the guy that I'm supposed to be going on this journey with this whole movie. She called him a bitch.
Oh my goodness! Oh boy!
And she's a drunk slut. Yay!
But they're clearly trying to do Guardians, something a little edgier for this universe. You hammered in that Superman's a Boy Scout, which was good, by the way. That was good for them. That was the right thing to do for that character. But they're trying to say, look, we've got something kind of edgy. Same thing for Peacemaker, by the way. That was a similar approach. It's like, look, we can do things for kids. We can do things for adults. You've got all this here. The challenge in all this is bringing it all together in one cohesive picture is like, that is just an art. That is going to be very challenging if you have a tonally more edgy Supergirl film and then you're trying to do some kind of big crossover Justice League later. That's a tough one. And I think I will agree with something this guy I've been arguing with in the chat. Guardians was lightning in a bottle. That's right. It is hard to get that again, but they are going to try. Again, if there's one thing we know about Hollywood, if something works, they go back to that well 18,000 times until it's thoroughly dead. And that everybody wants.
They distill it down. They distill it down to a formula.
Yeah.
Until the
Jaws 3D.
Yeah. So anyway, I've talked a lot. So what do the rest of you think?
We like the sound of your voice, Perch, though.
Nobody likes the sound of my voice.
Actually, Perch, I was going to say you were talking about like the outrage videos and things like that. When I watch your channel or when your videos come up, in my feed.
Go to sleep.
No, I have no idea which way you're going to go because the way your video titles and everything are like constructed, I'm like, which way is Perch going to go on this? And then I listen.
It's because my 12-year-old daughter is making those titles.
And because you don't do they want you dead.
I'm again, no disrespect to anybody. And Wes, you don't do this, which is always why I like you. But at some point, for those of you in the chat, please help me understand, like you're getting a video that says, Kathleen Kennedy, is she done? And it's 2025. And it's like, what is going on? Like we've had 8 solid years of this. Like, aren't you bored?
I mean, I think so, because those Star Wars videos I don't think do very well anymore.
No.
No, we're at the point of apathy. Whether she stays or she goes is immaterial now because everyone's just checked out.
Right. When she retires, she'll have all the pomp and circumstance. She'll get parades. She'll get awards named after her, buildings named after her. She is definitely like the female movie mogul that is, broke
They'll
the
talk
glass
about what a
ceiling.
spectacular producer she was, and they won't mention that she is the worst studio head probably in existence.
It's a tough one to deal with, and I think somebody said in the chat, and I don't think this is completely what the guy means, but they said they are fudging the numbers. They are. The problem is everybody is. Like the studios are fudging the numbers. The people assessing and analyzing are fudging the numbers. That Forbes article is hilarious because the guy's like, and I totally made this up. I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit, but like everybody is just guessing here, and it is tough. It's why I do those sales videos from time to time, and it's like, hey, actually, the Jane Foster Thor made more money. That's wild, but that's what the numbers say. And it always surprises people because there is so much guesswork involved.
And let's be honest, let's just tie it back to wrestling again. I'd like to think that Lucasfilm will be better off when Kathleen Kennedy is dead and gone, but they're just going to hand it to Dave Filoni and his idiot, witchy-poo wife. So, it's like, it's not going to get any better. It doesn't matter whether she's there or not.
I don't think the DCU has quite hit Star Wars kind of rock bottom.
No, not at all. But
Dylan, I can't even get into Star Wars anymore. Isn't that weird?
No, I hope Mandalorian Grogu fails massively. I don't want more of that. I hope that fails massively, and we get maybe a wake-up call. We get something good from Star Wars. But as far as the James Gunn Superman stuff goes, I see a lot of people being like, I thought this movie was going to make $1 billion. Like, what? This isn't 2012. How would this, where the MCU's bad, people have the DCU taste in their mouth from Snyder and everything. Like, there's no world where this thing would have made $1 billion. I thought that was crazy projections to think that.
Yes.
Like the world we're in, that's just not the case. The movie got good buzz from both critics and from fans. Like, you can look up the Rotten Tomatoes numbers. People liked it. It made okay money. I don't think it lost money. That Forbes piece is a contributor piece. And again, at the end, that guy's just like, I don't really know, actually. I said a lot of stuff, but who knows? So I don't think there's anything to say that it lost money. I don't think it made a ton of money or anything like that, but I don't think it lost money. I don't think it's a huge failure. This is the beginning. The biggest mistake I think Gunn's made is the lineup he has. It makes no sense because Superman, great, good job to start off with that. Yes. But then after that, it's like we got Peacemaker season 2, we've got Supergirl, we've got Clayface. And instead of doing the Green Lantern movie, we're doing a Lantern show where we're obsessed with True Detective for some reason. And Hal Jordan's 60. So that's, I think, the biggest sin that Gunn has done is his lineup. That's where I just have 100%. No idea what's going on.
100%. Nailed it.
Yeah,
you nailed it. I mean, look, it's not 2017 anymore. There's not a untapped amount of money that the audience is willing to just keep throwing at superhero movies because they keep being good, and even one hiccup isn't going to hurt you. This is a post DCEU where everyone was so sick and fucking tired of it. After the second movie, that it just slogged along to the end. And we're definitely not in a place where, you had to have a solid lineup, and you needed a
logical progression.
Yes, you needed a Superman movie, and then you needed something Batman related. It didn't have to necessarily be, honestly, why they did not just incorporate the Matt Reeves Batman. It's not that dissimilar. You can incorporate it into that universe just fine.
Doc, do you think that, or anybody here?
Yeah.
I don't think that DC naturally benefits from Marvel in the box office. And what I mean by that is Marvel built up to high dollars. You had Captain Marvel making $1 billion. I don't think it's logical that a DC movie comes out and it's automatically in that same stratosphere. I think it has to work its way up like Marvel did.
It does. It does. However, Marvel can salt the earth to make it so that a DC movie is hard to grow. And I think that's where we're at now.
That's fair. I think that the genre can influence or detract a little bit.
Yeah, I think Marvel like fertilized the soil and made it possible for any number of great DC projects to have the opportunity, but the audience was still waiting for them to prove themselves.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek. There was there's an argument there when Abrams is doing Star Trek that's like, well, it will benefit from Star Wars, and I don't think that's ever really proved out. It's like sci-fi as a genre might help a little bit, but I mean, I just don't believe that a Superman movie, and some people are saying, well, it should have easily coasted to $1 billion. I don't see where that path existed for it right out the gate.
Yeah,
I think the audience would have been less apprehensive in a world where Marvel was still doing well and DC hadn't completely hit the bed.
I agree.
DCEU.
And the bottom has fallen out on the overseas box office, specifically in China.
Yeah.
And revenue.
And let's be honest, the audience right now is not going. They're going to the theater when there's something really good they want to see, but they're not just going to the theater and seeing what's available.
No, they seem to be gravitating towards things that are like original. Like weapons and sinners, and horror is always going to do well. But it seems like people are kind of like in the mood for original properties, and I don't think that the launch of Superman so close to the death of the previous universe. I don't think there was enough time for people to kind of like wrap their head around it. And remember, normies don't follow this shit. So they just see it and they go, oh, they're doing another Superman movie. And they're not even sure if Corin Sweat is Cavill. Like, they don't know any of it. It's just like, oh, do I want to go see another movie in this universe? I haven't liked a superhero movie in like 3 years. Maybe I'll skip this one. And besides, I'll just catch it on streaming because it'll be there in a month. And it pretty much was. Like, if they would have let it have a little bit longer of a theatrical run, it might have limped, to maybe 700 million. But we'll never know.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Superman was going to break $1 billion. I said it on the show months ago because I had hope. I really had hope in this movie because it went back to some primary colors. It went back to something aspirational. I thought that people were going to be in the mood to want to see this Superman.
I agree with you, Sully. I agree with you. I think we just underestimated the amount of disinterest and damage that, honestly, the black eye Marvel's given superhero movies in the last couple of years, and the level of people not necessarily the normies kind of being like, okay,
nobody could give DC a bigger black eye than the Flash.
That's what I mean. You just finished the other universe, and that didn't have a really popular movie since the first one. Okay, Wonder Woman and Aquaman. That hadn't had a good movie since then.
Yeah, you'd had to, Birds of Prey, The Flash.
The Flash,
the first Suicide Squad did really well.
The Flash was fun. I don't know what movie you saw. I had a good time watching that movie.
I saw a movie with Ezra. I saw a movie with 2 Ezra Millers. That's what I saw. Sully.
If you don't take it as a Flash movie, I agree with Sully. It's not bad. If you see it as a Flash movie, it's terrible. But if you see it as not a Flash movie, it's actually
Sully just likes babies and microwaves. He's excited about it.
Other than the special effects,
that was a ripoff of the opening of Roger Rabbit. I'll save you, baby. That was it. That was comedy. That was cartoon.
No, the only thing that movie had going for it was, I liked
Michael
Supergirl.
Keaton.
And
like Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah,
and if they would,
which was fun.
But what would you have spent the money on? Would you have spent the money on? And they spent a lot of money on that Flash movie. Would you have spent the movie on that, or would you have been better served saying, "Hey, Michael Keaton, why don't we do a Batman Beyond where he's old man Batman? Old man Bruce Wayne."
Cool too. You can have all of it. They should be green lighting all the good ideas.
You can't have all of it. There's a limited amount of money. There's a limited amount of resources.
And it was Walter Hamada, and that other chick in charge.
And remember, they were trying to push Ezra Miller on us as the next big actor. And I think his antics was probably with the source of the outrage. If he was somewhat normal, we wouldn't.
No,
I don't
no,
think he
because
would be-
the moment before I knew anything about him, and Wes and I have talked about this, the moment I
true.
saw his stupid face in that Harry Potter spin-off movie, I hated him. He just has a face that
True.
like you just want to punch. And
Yeah.
and then you find out about him and you're like, oh, I really want to punch him now.
Oh,
You know what
so-
movie I wanted, Dylan? I think you probably agree with me. I wanted that fucking Ben Affleck Batman movie.
I would have liked to
versus
see that.
Deathstroke. Yeah,
Yes, that's the
That
one they
helped.
needed to do.
the thing
That
that
would've
Reeves
been
was
fun.
originally supposed to do.
But no, I mean, like you're in this world where you have a bad lineup, like if they would have done some of the things and like kind of maybe stuck to the original announced plan, it had a possibility. Everybody was like, "Ooh, the Supergirl, not sure about that," but everything else they were like, "Okay, I can."
I don't think anybody was looking forward to an Authority movie. Never made sense.
Well,
I
it
mean,
did-
I would in a Wildstorm universe, I'd love an Authority movie. I just don't know how it makes sense.
Why not have
In
a
a- you know, in
Wildstorm
a universe with
universe on
Superman.
HBO Max?
Does anyone? I mean, because just some people are commenting on this too. I mean, we talked about this before, but please, and everybody does realize they're not going to restore the Snyderverse at this
No.
point, right? I mean, that is
not
done.
happening.
That's never happening.
No.
They,
I mean,
he's
I don't
moved
know
on.
that
They've moved on.
I don't know that anybody's looking to hire Snyder for much of anything right now.
I mean, again, like I think Dylan said or Sully said, go to Netflix and support his film, man. He's getting crushed by K-pop Demon Hunters right now with Rebel Moon. So get in there and click on those movies.
They
Well,
already
Run in the
Highest
background
comic book
24/7.
There's who was it? Titans, I think, got the license, right? They put out
Yeah,
two
you can
different
you can
Rebel
read
Moon
lots
books.
of by mags.
Get in
So-
there, man.
go support-
It's
get in
right there. Support your bro.
Right now, it's Gale.
And while you're while you're there, just go hit Mag's GoFundMe, for rent, and just support all of it.
or a wig.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not ideal, Perch. I think you can agree with that.
No, it's not ideal, but I mean the pain is being exaggerated fairly aggressively, and I just again I'm a numbers guy, so it works me up. But
Why don't you just call yourself a nerd?
I've called myself a nerd multiple times.
Numbers
Absolutely.
nerd.
Yeah. It's
What are you over there?
just-
You're over there doing math. You're not even Asian.
I know it sucks. It's just the stuff. I think there's plenty of things to legitimately complain about that are problems, and it's like, well, I heard 300 million was spent on this or that. It's like, okay, the amount of articles that did articles citing the Forbes article as a source when the Forbes article openly admitted it was making shit up, and then there's articles that are linking to that article as proof, and then articles that link to those articles as proof. I mean, that does. Look, I know it winds up other YouTubers. I'm not wound up in the same way, but come on. And again, this is coming from a guy who liked Demon Slayer significantly better than Superman in the theater, and who spent the money on both.
Hey,
Did you like Demon Slayer better, Dylan?
I've watched zero Demon Slayer.
Ugh.
You're the movie guy. You got the league pass.
Yeah, I don't watch anime, but like at all. I watch hardly
Purchase
any
this-
anime.
Purchase
I
disgusting.
don't care
with you,
about.
Dylan.
Yeah.
I don't care about Demon Slayer.
You've let him down more than Arby's.
Like 40 something movies this year, and Demon Slayer is not one of them.
It's
What's your number one movie so far?
Still Mission Impossible. Nothing's past that yet.
Oh,
It was a good film.
My 10-year-old said it's his favorite movie of all time. He hasn't changed his mind yet. Or he said the best movie I've ever seen in my life is what he said.
Demon Slayer.
No, Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it's a
That's
good film.
awesome. That's really cool.
I mean, that's kind of crazy because it's like it's not geared toward his age group necessarily. It's fairly complex. There's a lot of conversations in it, and he was, your boy's like,
Once you get through the first 40 minutes, it's shit blowing up for 2
yeah, he's
hours
like, this is the shit.
And the amount of shit that it connects back, the amount of like continuity you have to remember by the time you're done with that movie is amazing. And
10-year-old did not
they
care.
do actually a pretty good job of reminding us of it too.
Yeah.
And they do it in a nice, subtle way. My one complaint with Demon Slayer is, you forget some of the continuity in the flashbacks. So the film does give it to you a lot in the middle of the battles, 5 or 6 times, and that does get annoying for sure.
Let's hear for the peoples. Southside Ronan said, Godzilla Escape from the Dead Zone was my favorite comic this week. Love from Chicago.
Oh, love to Chicago. You got great pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Love Chicago.
Gino's East, baby.
Dude,
So I have Nick, he's from Chicago, on my Comics Guild, and he gets upset with me when I insinuate that Chicago pizza is deep dish.
correct.
Because it is.
Apparently, well, there's two types of Chicago pizza.
He says that's tourist Chicago pizza, and real Chicago pizza is New York pizza.
Mm,
Is that true?
why can't you have both? I think it's both.
What did you say, Perch?
I said that's Cope. I think that Chicago pizza is deep dish pizza.
Yeah, with the sauce on top, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Like
technically,
lasagna.
that's a casserole.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
That's what Chicago pizza is.
Yeah, it's tomato casserole.
But there's been a ton of Godzilla books out this year because it's like the 50th anniversary or something like that.
Yeah.
I know you love or Sully loved the one where he destroyed Boston.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, you got DC doing Godzilla books. You got Marvel doing Godzilla books. Was that Boom Studios are doing Godzilla books?
IDW.
Too? IW, yeah. And it's like that license is everywhere. So does this mean that, like, we can bind together all the universes through Godzilla? Maybe.
One
Thank you
degree
so
of
much.
separation.
Yeah, huh?
JT Thompson says, best group on YouTube. You folks do an excellent job with this, and the chat is great. Thanks for always brightening my Saturday morning. P.S. I like Gunn's Superman movie. Sorry.
Good.
Don't
I
apologize.
liked it too.
You're allowed to like it.
I also liked it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope you
I
like it.
liked it. I liked it just fine. Was it the best Superman movie I've ever seen? No. Did it completely blow me away? Absolutely not. Was I entertained? Yes.
But is there any hope? Do any of you think there's any hope at all? I like when you go and you spend $12 for a ticket and you're buying a beer and food at that theater, and you're in for a decent amount of money. You're just taking 2 hours of your life and you're watching a movie. In theory, you want to enjoy that thing you just spent a lot of money on.
Yeah. I wouldn't be there if I didn't want to enjoy it.
I mean, that's should be the bias. And then do you think it's possible to get to a point where you can actually then go to a bar with buddies afterward and complain about it, and it doesn't turn into World War III because you didn't sycophantically praise it or hate every freaking moment of it? Like that is not a
Right.
middle of the road opinion. That's a normalcy opinion that you can actually watch something and you can complain about it, and that is fun nerd shit to do. And it's like,
And that can happen in the bar, Perch, because you're not on the internet.
and that's why I spend so much time in the bar.
That's
But-
good.
If anybody owes me an apology, it's Perch for saying that Tom King's Wonder Woman is looking up. What is that crap about? What were you
Sam
thinking,
Pierce-
dude?
I mean,
Sam Pierce still
you
doing
read
that?
the whole run. You read the run of it. Started with the idiot bar scene. Like we're like it started terrible.
It hasn't got much better. But no, if you love James Gunn's Superman movie, that's great. I like aspects of it.
He
I
said he
like-
liked it. He didn't say he loved it. Don't put words in his mouth.
I
Don't-
like
Don't
with,
say that. Don't say that he
almost-
recommended K-pop Demon Hunters.
JT Thompson, thank you for recommending K-pop. Yeah, Demon Hunters.
Yeah. I love that Wes just agreed with me, by the way, because he said it hasn't gotten much better, but much better is better. So Wes also thinks Wonder Woman has gotten better.
Well, a mild swelling
Yeah,
of
no, that's how it
quality is
works.
technically
That's how
the
video
The
games
art
best.
by Daniel Sampier has been sterling the entire time.
Yeah.
He's been definitely wasted on that
Looky
one.
there.
I've heard rumors that his Wonder Woman is going to be wrapping up soon. Is that true?
That's at the end of KO.
Yeah. It sounds like everything's rebooting at the end of KO almost.
Pretty much.
Shocking.
Yeah. But I don't know. Superman was all right. If I was to pick my favorite superhero movie this year, it's probably K-pop Demon Hunters, but I guess I won't consider that one superheroes for this conversation. I think I might be Thunderbolts. It was just like a likability to the movie. I really like Florence Pugh.
Yeah. Solid.
I like Florence Pugh. I like John Walker. I thought he was the best thing about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
He was definitely the best thing about Thunderbolts and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
How was Bucky? Was he okay?
But that's what I was
Bucky
disappointed about. He has
doesn't do much.
nothing to do.
Yeah,
he just kind of shows up at the end.
he's kind of bland in that.
Yeah.
movie. They don't give him anything to do, and
Well,
Yeah.
you're doing too much
Yes.
with him. He has to be a senator and a hero and an outlaw and a unifier. Like and we get a lot of scenes of him being a congressman.
who thinks that Bucky being a congressman was a good? Like, who wanted to see that? Like,
There's nobody that was like, the logical progression from soldier to brainwashed assassin to kind of mentally damaged super soldier. Definitely let's put him in fucking Congress and let him make the decisions for us.
Is he a
Kinda
John
tracks,
Fetterman
actually, if you
allegory?
think about it that way, yeah. But I do appreciate the shout out and thank you for so much for being generous and supporting the channel. And I'm glad you enjoyed the chat because we do have the best live chat in all of comic books, in my opinion, at least.
Just
You
a
know what? I'm
bunch
not
of
going to
nerds-
caveat. We have the best live chat in all of comic books.
Damn
Geek.
right.
Bunch of
Here.
nerds at the bar, man, talking about
Yes.
geek shit.
Exactly.
It's too early.
Nate's
to drink,
memes. The finale of DCEU was Orm eating a roach burger.
That was in Aquaman 2?
Yep.
Okay.
I literally never finished that movie. I got like
It-
30 minutes into it. And I'm like, I'm done. I
It
don't
was
care.
it was bad, and I really liked the first Aquaman. I had a lot of fun
Uh-huh.
with that movie, but the second one was bad.
The first
What's
Aquaman
your-
was fun because if you were watching the movie and you were like, I'm not enjoying this movie right now, it's like, don't worry, in 5 minutes it'll be a completely different movie. There'll be an explosion, and then it'll be like, now it's a rom com.
And
Oh,
the
you're not
best-
enjoying the rom com? Boom! Now
the-
it's a buddy movie.
The best suits in like any comic book movie too. That man, Ocean Master, Aquaman, they looked awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
My
Black
favorite
Manta.
DCEU movie was easily Shazam. I think that was the best executed film that they made.
Hmm.
Were you laughing at me, Perch?
No, just I that people forget about that one.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I think the first one was good. Best maybe. I hadn't ever thought of it as the best, but I'll have to.
In all the attacks on James Gunn recently, I saw that they were like, oh, he was the one who recommended Zachary Levi for Shazam. And I'm like, are you saying that's a negative? Because I thought that was good casting. I enjoyed Zachary
he's
Levi
good.
as Shazam.
Other than him just wearing a muscle suit and like not actually getting big, which
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I dislike about it.
You want people to do that Chris Pratt diet plan.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go put on 80 pounds of muscle, chucklehead. And like, okay,
Yeah,
let
go
me get
be
on that.
miserable. Go be miserable like Chris Hemsworth at Disneyland.
You're
having to tell
getting
my friend,
paid
like,
millions of dollars
Yes.
to play a superhero. You can work out. Come on.
No,
that's
you
your-
absolutely
That's
can.
your
Look,
job.
your
Go do
job
it.
is to play pretend.
Yeah.
Listen, man,
Or
Zachary
people-
Levi
Kumail
isn't
Nanjiani-
like some little midget like fucking Tom Cruise. He's like 6'5". To throw on 80 pounds of muscle on there is going to take some time.
He doesn't got to
You know-
put on 80 pounds. He just got to put on a little bit. He put on nothing. He just put on a suit. I liked him as Shazam, but I agree with Doc. He should have put on some muscle.
Look, if Kumail Nanjiani can do it and then not even
Yes.
get a
Oh
shirtless
my
scene
goodness, that-
and then be written out of the movie.
Yeah, but his
and then
head
not
group-
get
Yeah,
any
Yeah, that
more.
guy's on all the HGH and freaking. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Kumail's
weird.
That's when
Kumail's
you,
rolling like the Rock before the Rock shrunk in the wash.
Like his
Yeah.
jaw grew out like Jay Leno.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
that was
when you put the-
hilarious.
That's what happens when you put the least athletic person on the planet on HGH and like a 9-hour a day at the gym. I want to know what his fucking cycle was.
RDV, anyone interested in Jeremy Adams writing a 3-part animated Nightfall movie? I'm
Yeah.
out on live action superhero movies. New DCAU movies interest me more. They get their crap together.
I'm interested, but it depends on the art style because a lot of the times they choose these like butt ugly art style for the animation, and that will just completely turn me off the movie. So if they're actually faithful in Nightfall, and if the animation style, if the art style is good, then I'm
Really?
there. But that's
What if
the
they
thing.
put in
I.e.
Damian Wayne
Yeah.
to Nightfall?
No, he already said Tim Drake's going to be it.
that's
He already
cool.
because someone on Twitter was like, people are already like, it's going to be Damien, and Jeremy Adams like, no, Tim is going to be it.
Do we know the
So-
voice actor? Because you know,
Is
I don't think that's
Tim
been announced
Gay in it?
It's probably Bruce Greenwood, right?
I would hope so. He's the next man up for me after Conroy. Like,
I was gonna say, because doesn't like the voice actor like assume continuity with the different movies in a way? I mean, like, because there were those Batman animated ones. I really liked those ones with Damien, and
we're post all that, so I think that's
Yeah.
why we're like in the gray on who's going to be playing Batman because there's no like continuity fall. They can get whoever.
If you gave me like the Assault on Arkham art style, like I'd be down with that. But if you give me like the Killing Joke art style, it's so ugly. I don't want that.
I would take that over like the terrible like Beware the Batman CG type.
No, I agree there.
Like 3D animation?
Yeah, I hate that.
That doesn't work for this. I'm pretty interested. Although Perch, for some reason, I thought they said it was going to be a 4-part animated movie.
No, I heard 3.
I don't know. I haven't heard. 3 is the right amount.
Yeah. Batman gets his back broke by Bane, and then Azrael rises up and starts to turn, and then Batman has to come back in the 3rd part, right?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, you don't want. I mean, no more decompression. Like just be tight.
I just looked and I see 4 parts.
That's what I had read. Because I thought 3 parts made more sense.
Well, milk it.
I mean, what do you have to do? You have to establish Azrael.
Introduce Bane.
Introduce Bane. You have
release
to
all the
release all the inmates. Break the bat.
Yes.
Break the bat.
Then you got to do Night Quest.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have Azrael doing his thing, and Bruce has got to go heal up, and then come back, face the challenges, come back, take him down.
But you got to have Azrael go insane and start developing all these deadly weapons that Batman shouldn't be using.
Kicking Tim out of the cave. That was like my favorite part.
Also, you got to remember, DC generally doesn't like to make these animated movies very long. They like to keep them like hour 20 or like less. Yeah. They don't like to have them too long. So I think that's why it's 4 parts.
I trust Jeremy Adams.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I think, but by the way, it kind of linked to the previous conversation we were having. The danger with doing things in 4 parts and etc. is that you're setting yourself up that then you do actually have to make a lot of money out the gate, and you do have to get attention quickly, because that's where I think there's a bigger risk of the project gets abandoned, and you've seen that too.
You only made half of your story.
Yeah, we get orphan projects, and that, like, for example, Rebel Moon. But you have these things where people have these big visions, they don't get the attention, and then it does fall apart. So it is. I wouldn't go out the gate with 4 parts. I mean, Christ.
Yeah. See, JT's saying Nightfall, Night Quest, and Night's End, but I think you have to have the Sword of Azrael / Vengeance of Bane set up. Yeah. So I see kind of why they would do 4.
Pull it off. Do it and pull it off. That's fine. I mean, you've got 1,000 episodes of One Piece, so I mean, sure, why not?
WraithX7 says Gunn and DC should have made 2 separate cinematic universes aimed at 2 audiences. The DCU aimed at all ages and Wildstorm aimed at adults. So I'm kind of with WraithX7 here. Like, I don't think Peacemaker needed to be a part of the Superman universe. You could have had a streaming DC universe like they used to have on Netflix, and you could have had the movie universe, and I think it would have been easier to kind of manage and not kind of screw it up.
Yeah, I think this is a smart comment. Because I think this is what's going to get them in the past. They're trying to put in some diversity, and in this instance, I mean diversity of content, not people or those captured, but it just where you can play in horror, you can play at all these things, and I think that makes sense. But you are diluted. You have to pull a lot off when you have to bring it together, and I do think that's going to hurt them at some point when these things converge. It does start to get strange.
Like, will they eventually have an Echo or a She-Hulk for that diversity of marketplace, trying to get those kind of viewers?
It makes sense why you want to pursue those different things. You have people who like rom-coms, you have people who like horror, and you produce something that caters to all those audiences, fine. But just when you throw them all in the exact same universe, it's tough when they come together, as I think we're about to see with the Doomsday.
Here's the thing.
You're going to see a little bit of that problem.
But here's the thing. For the people that like rom-com and, slice of life and whatever, they actually already have that. It's just called Sex in the City. You already own that property. Stop trying to force it into the not. I also, in your Sex in the City world, I also don't need a Punisher.
Yeah, you don't. Agreed. You don't need. Bear in mind, you don't need to force it. And a bad idea would be to make Punisher into a rom-com.
Yes.
If you're talking about all the Marvel comics, a good idea would be to take Millie the Model, or that's too old, but stuff like that, and put that in a rom-com, because that is what it is. So you don't transform existing properties. You can lean into certain things with horror or sci-fi, but it's like, Guardians of the Galaxy should be a sci-fi based series more than a superhero series, even though it's a superhero comic. It is a sci-fi comic, but anyway.
Well, I mean, instead of having Punisher War Journal, we can have Punisher's dating diaries.
Punisher Home and Garden.
I could tell when you thought up that joke because you started grinning and you're
Thank you.
Yeah.
you were ready to bring it. Yeah.
No,
I got
Sully sells it like he always tips you off. Like you don't,
Oh,
have, you don't have a good poker face, Sully. We know
I don't gamble for this exact reason, yo.
Yeah.
But I think Wraith X7 brings up a valid point and something that James Gunn probably should have learned from with the MCU when they went too big and tried to expand and include too much stuff.
I mean, James Pattinson's going to be its own universe anyway, so you already have parallel universes in the same kind of in the same sandbox. So
you don't, and first of all, we'll see how long that lasts. By the way,
I think it's Robert Pattinson, but
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
will that keep going? The other thing I would advise is if you're going to have different cinematic universes, which is fine, don't feel compelled at some point to introduce a multiversal team up of all these universes. Just be comfortable having these things go in their own ways. Just you don't need to always merge everything together. That's another problem you have. So just if you're going to do a more adult version and a more kid version, just whatever. Just let them be their own thing and make lots of money in two universes. Nobody wants to see these things colliding together. Even if they say they do, they're lying. Don't trust it.
To appreciate all the people supporting the channel today. Had a great conversation about lots of different things. We went in a whole lot of different directions there, but we do have to start wrapping this up and get to some comic book recommendations. Perch, thank you so much for joining. I know you don't like to visit us knuckleheads all that often, but you always bring your A game, dude.
No, I knew when I saw the thumbnail, I'm like, shit, I'm going to disagree with most of your audience.
Did you though?
I don't know. There's a couple people in there, but it's fine.
These are good conversations. I like these.
It's good with us. My wish is that we can. I do get frustrated if you say anything negative, then the torches come out from you in a different area, and it's fun to watch Superman and then pick apart that one of the monkeys was a bad casting. I mean, whatever. It doesn't really matter what you're going to complain about. That's fun, and that's
where they get monkey number 3.
Yeah, just let it happen. It's cool, and that should be part of the enjoyable movie watching experience. But the other part is just please on the numbers, just don't like do at least double click a little bit on the facts on this stuff because some of the reporting out there is just wild.
Remember,
you got any comic books you want to recommend, dude?
Yeah, I think we talked about the Hulk earlier. I think for Marvel that was probably the best book for me of the month of the week. I'm not going to torch you with Wonder Woman again. And that's not a recommend, but it is what it is. I like that. At least it feels like there's a threat for a change. I didn't like Absolute Flash. So, okay, we got a disagreement there. If outside of outside of Marvel or DC, it's an interesting thing. This isn't exactly a recommend, but as we're seeing more and more people talk about properties, coming out of patent or out of where you could actually it's part of the public domain. I Hate Fairyland 45 has Popeye in the book because he's in the public domain, and this isn't like a stellar story everybody's going to remember, but it is an example of here's how you could actually use these characters without turning them to weird, gross, like what Eric Larson did with Mickey Mouse or others. You could actually have some kind of fun story, and you don't have to completely make the character into a sex addict. And so if you're wondering how some of these public domain heroes can show up, that's a pretty cool book to pick up and check. And Battle Beast was fun. G.I. Joe was fun. I want to like They Choose Violence, but the art just can't land it for me. So there's a few books out there.
Most definitely. You got any big videos or interviews or things people should be looking out for?
Yeah, I'll get back to interviews at some point, but I just need to get back to recording new videos. It's been a long time.
Well, you should check out my interview with Mark Miller. We had a great time, dude. It was fun. He's always a great guest, though.
He's very enthusiastic.
Exploding Prinny says, after the stream is over, will any of you be joining me at the No Tom King's protest?
I will be there. Yes.
You know what? That is a good.
I
heard
managed to go to the No Tom King's protest every time I go to the comic book store and don't buy a comic book written by Tom King, which is I am undefeated.
Just put his reputation on the line for the man. You can't be.
I am
like
undefeated on this in 10 years.
Look, I don't think Tom King's not going to be at Baltimore, is he? As a guest?
Maybe.
I doubt it. He really doesn't do it. If he is, that would be comical cosplay of somebody doing a No Tom King's protest at Baltimore Comic. That would be-
Yeah, no. If I
That'd be great.
if I was there and I had heard this, I'd be like, oh, I'd be making my sign right now.
I don't think anyone. I mean, look, I don't think they would find it funny, but that would be funny. So
RDV says, when is Perch getting that Arby's sponsorship?
I have gotten mails from Arby's. I've actually gotten mail from Arby's.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
All I do is love Arby's. I praise them. I love their roast beef sandwiches, and they can't even retweet me. But you go out there and you trash them on a daily basis, and they show you love.
Well, I think my volume of Arby's content is higher than yours.
Also, you always go for the one that's playing hard to get, right? Like you don't the one that's like right there, you know, the true blue. Wes, you're trying too hard, man.
You're the streamer in a glass case, breaking case of emergency.
You know they got me.
All right,
you're the best friend that only whenever they can't get perched do they really want you.
Here's 30 seconds that is all praise about Arby's for a moment, coming from me. So Arby's, the local Arby's here in Dallas, there's lots of them, but one of them, apparently the manager there likes to have the show on in the back during operating hours, which is a bad plan, but they do that. And hears me crap about Arby's all the time, and reached out and offered to donate $1,000 to a local comic shop to help them kind of get through some tough times, and did. And so I give them massive credit. And I did something on my channel a while ago now. I don't recall what I did, but much love to Arby's in that regard. They put their money toward comics, and that was pretty awesome.
Man, and you still talk crap out.
Well, sure, because it's not meat.
No, goodness.
Try the new steak.
Nate Smeeb says Warner Brothers lost money by not making Man of Steel 2, Justice League 2 and 3, and Batfleck flicks.
Maybe.
Oh, I think Batfleck they lost money not making. I don't know about Man of Steel 2, Justice League 2 or 3, but I think the Batfleck movie would have made some nice money.
Well, I think because they jumped to Batman and Superman, they fucked up all their mojo. And Justice League wasn't as successful as it should have been. If he had naturally flowed into a Man of Steel 2, and then you introduce, Batman and Justice League, and then you come back with the Batfleck film, like there's some logical progression that might actually generate enthusiasm.
Killing Superman in his second appearance in the universe was retarded, and I think that's kind of
throwing
Dark Knight Returns.
That was the Act 2 nadir. I mean, that was a 3-act story: Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, and Justice League. So that is literally your Act 2 nadir, your lowest point of the story for him to come by.
That does not make it good or make sense.
Yeah, we have to really care about Superman before we care that he's dead, and you actually have to show us. You can't be. Is this the end of the love affair with the Man in the Sky? What love affair? We never got to see that in Man of Steel. It's not present because he's brand new. And then, you get a couple of flashes of him with some Jesus imagery, during Batman v Superman, but that's it.
Which frankly was one of the dumber parts of the new Superman movie, in that it's like for 3 years he has been saving everyone and they love him so much, and people in New York are
turn on him
kill
immediately
themselves to people are willing to die to help Superman. Guys, the human is standing in front of somebody who could easily just squish them, and then it's like breaking Fox News: Superman horny will impregnate you, and then immediately people are throwing soup cans in his head.
It's not even that. It's just Superman's parents turned out they wanted him to bang a bunch of chicks.
Yeah,
it's like and start a harem, and it's like okay.
The crowd literally turned on him during the course of the 30-second newscast. It was like he's like, "What's going on outside?" People are looking up, like when was the last time, by the way, you all are walking around and suddenly you're watching the news out in a park somewhere? You're like, "Oh shit, there's a TV here. Let's just watch this breaking news." Superman's parents say, "Go breed," and then immediately angry. That to me, that irritated the crap out of me.
Yeah,
but I think Nate's thesis has some merit. Unfortunately, we'll never get to see it play out, but I think there might be something to it. Aaron, are you recommending any books this week?
Well, as you know, I have been sick, so I have not been out of the house since getting back from New York. But I do have a couple of recommendations. Number one, I want to recommend this copy of G.I. Joe that I picked up for Sully in New York. This is the Comic Mint exclusive. Sully collects Baroness covers, so I had to pick this up for him.
My goodness. Oh,
I think
thank
there
you so
may
much.
still be some available on the Comic Mint website. So if you guys are interested, go grab it. It's a really nice, like kind of metallic foil.
Foil.
Beautiful book.
Shiny.
So wanted to make sure you had that for your collection, Sully.
Thank you, buddy. Thank
You're always
you
doing
much.
stuff for other people, so I want to pay that little of that back. And then the other thing I'm going to recommend, in my complete self-serving attempt to recoup the losses of New York Comic Con, is I always hold back a certain amount of the exclusives I do for shows for for anybody who wants to pick them up on the Kneel Before Doomface website. I will be adding this weekend. This is the New York variant. It is a 14-page preview of Kneel Before Doomface, and then it's a flip book, and on the opposite side you get a 5-page preview of Vengeance of Vincent Spector, another book that I'm doing with the same team. So beautiful Renzo Rodriguez art, great Oscar colors, me writing it, created by Brett Fossey. So doing that, and like I said, I'll be putting that up today. And just to remind you guys, I said this at the top of the show. Desperately trying to get Kneel Before Doomface out the door. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the files because I did use somebody else on the Kickstarter, and I'm trying to coordinate with them because the digital copies were supposed to go out before New York. They did not. The book needs to go to the printer. It has not. And all of that right now is out of my hands. So I'm desperately trying to get that done for you guys. So, not slacking on the book at all. We're still working on number 2. Just logistical problems that I could not foresee. So my apologies.
Very nice. And Dylan, you recommend any books this week?
Yeah, I'd say Absolute Flash number 8, because Absolute Flash has not been very good, but this issue is a flashback. We get some Barry Allen, we get some origins of stuff, and I enjoyed it. Captain America number 4, best issue yet of the series. It was pretty good. Got some Doom and Captain America fight, which is pretty cool. Battle Beast number 6, I liked. G.I. Joe number 12. G.I. Joe is always good. We get Shooter in this. We get Prison Break. It's pretty cool. Incredible Hulk number 30, which we already talked about, was really good. And Punisher Red Band number 2 was pretty good. I liked it better than the first issue. I also got a couple things. I got the Mission Impossible Final Reckoning 4K Steelbook, and I got a Snake Eyes. So got some cool stuff this week.
Very nice. You got any big videos that people need to be looking out for?
I just got my Green Arrow video up and my DCKO video. So if you haven't seen those, check those out.
Very good. Sully, you recommend any books this week, dude?
Yes, I've got 5 new comic books this week that I got, and 4 of them were from the local comic book shop. One of them came in the mail from a crowdfunder. But I wanted to start off real quick. I'm disappointed with the book I bought last week. It was the Blind Bag KO number 1. This actually turned me off to this blind bag thing because I noticed afterwards the corner has got a ding in it. The top of the page here has a ripple in it that goes back several pages. So I was unable to see like the quality of this comic book for $9.99. Yep. I mean, seriously, that just turned me off to this whole blind bag thing because this copy is basically worthless now. Because it's so dinged up.
It wasn't that you didn't get a choice. It wasn't that it's an obvious ploy to get you to buy like 30 copies and basically gamble.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the fact that you actually can't even check the condition.
Right. Yeah. And I would have chose another one if I knew, there's going to be so dinged
one
up.
That's not in a fucking blind bag.
But the comics I did buy this week, I got New Gods number 11 by Ram V, Evan Cagle. Great opening sequence by Dennis Cowan, one of my all-time favorite artists. And this is wrapping up in one more issue. It's a really strong penultimate issue, and I'm glad I've been along on this journey. I got Incredible Hulk number 30, the loudest magazine you're going to read all week. Onomatopoeia, hand-drawn. Almost every panel in this book. This is such a loud, visceral experience. 2 extra huge double-page spreads. There's just such a good book, and I am looking forward to what's next. So happy that Nick Klein came back. Well, he had to because it's kind of his book. But G.I. Joe number 12. This was a surprise. This was so good. I mean, Joshua Williamson. It gets pretty dark in tone on this. Seriously, I really liked it. No spoilers. Check it out yourself. And the pick of the week is Flash Gordon number 12 by Jeremy Adams on Mad Cave Press. Jeremy Adams is really good. He's not reinventing the wheel. He designed a really nice car here. The whole mirror universe trope in sci-fi is it's old and it's been done over and over again, but it works here because it's fun. And just sign me up for anything that Jeremy Adams does. But awesome. This week came Mark Miller, who was a guest on the channel earlier this week. Go check out that show. I got Psycho Sam by him, Mark Miller, Psychic Sam, and John Romita Jr. and Klaus Janssen. And I got the magazine edition too. This costs a little extra and it's worth it. It's a 1970s style black and white version, extra size. The art is so cool. I mean, I love John Romita Jr. Came with the signed nameplate card, and Klaus Janssen comes to Boston every year for the cons, so I'm gonna have him sign this too. And Mark liked that idea a lot. So, and thank you so much to the best live chat in the world. What an awesome panel! What a great talk we had today. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Perch. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Doc.
All right, Doc, you got any books you want to recommend?
Well, let's see. I did not go to a comic shop this week, so I don't have any new comics to recommend. Although I do recommend all of you that are thinking about buying Unbreakable X-Men #1 to go and watch our review. Watch and listen to our review on it on Monday.
Should be.
Yeah. Before you decide whether or not you're going to throw down your hard-earned money. Don't. So we will go with as I said last week, I might have went a little bit overboard because Amazon was doing a sale and on a lot of toys. So I love this Sergeant Slaughter. I love this. I love the Slaughter's Marauders.
Oh, he's got an action figure version of himself inside. Yes. Oh, that's so dude.
And it comes out. It comes out, Sully. Like you can take the little starch out and then reseal it.
Yeah. What is the scale of that? 132 or something?
It's one.
It's 1/18 to his 1/12.
1/16. Yeah. So yeah, Aaron, you missed it last week. Last week I showed off. I bought the Stinger.
Yeah, I was so proud of you. That's such a great vehicle. I was bummed out like with everything that was going on. I did not. I mean, I'm sure it'll drop again before Christmas, but I want to get a second sticker.
Yeah, I saw somebody customized one and turned it into a Joe vehicle, and I was like, oh, that looks fucking awesome.
Oh, let me tell you, you can go to Gridiron Studios, and they sell a bunch of accessories. You can trick out your Stinger, you can trick out your Vamp, like whatever it is that you do. You can give it better tires, better guns, all kinds of cool stuff.
Awesome. So that is one of the toys. Then we will go with, as we were talking about earlier, my favorite, because I mean, check out that spider ass. But no. And, you can also go and listen tomorrow, Wes, will it be, whenever we talk about Marvel's announcements, including talking about J. Scott Campbell on the Spider-Man series that is 17 years late. So, and then I just recently reread this. I still love this series. I love all the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale color books at Marvel, but I really enjoy Hulk Gray. Don't know why. It's not the one that everybody loves the most, but I just really like this one. Then, X-Men 13. So, second appearance of Juggernaut. Great, fun story. I love Juggernaut as a villain. He's probably one of my favorite villains. And it's such a cool cover too. Then we will go with one of the, it's actually the last time that Marvel did a really, really, well, I guess JLA Avengers was pretty good. But before that, the last actually good Marvel DC crossover, Titans X-Men.
Damn, good book.
Yes, it is. And then finally, since I was on an X-Men kick already and a J. Scott Campbell kick, Uncanny X-Force #1. This is the regular J. Scott Campbell cover. There's also one that's exactly the same, except for it's got the I guess right over here, I think. It's the Midtown Comics version. So Midtown Comics paid Marvel a bunch of money to do print to order of an existing ratio cover. So they didn't even have to commission their own work. So those are my recommendations for this week.
Very, very nice. We've also got Picture Book Reader just learned and started buying DC Finest and Compact. It's been 10 years or more since I've read comics. I'm so happy. That's
Go
awesome.
for it. The compacts are a great way.
Yeah, Perch, that Compact comic line is really making a huge difference for him.
Yeah, it gets them into more places. It gets people reading. So it's smart. They need to do more of it. And Marvel should probably copy that.
They tried to with Premier Edition, but theirs isn't quite as successful. It's a little bit bigger and $5 more.
Yeah, the price is too much, the size, and it seems stupid. Like why? Who cares about like a half of an inch? But it matters to some of the
And
shelves. It
also, well, I was going to say also they didn't bother to tell anybody they were fucking doing it.
Yeah, there was really no marketing around it. They didn't get the distribution lined up. They didn't provide incentives. One of the things that DC did with this book is that they just offered a higher margin for new places that were going to carry it. And that's, yeah, they make less money, but they get it more places. And so they make more money. So, simple economics.
Well, and I'm happy that you're discovering the DC Compact and in Finest books and have come back to comic books, dude. That's awesome. That's the way it should be. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Be rooting for the Chiefs over the Raiders. Hopefully the Giants fall this weekend. Dylan has gotten way too high on his horse as of late.
It's going to be great when we beat the Broncos.
And everybody have a great weekend.